Hello, this is Over and Over and Over Again. We're live. It's Saturday evening, and this is Arsenal versus Liverpool live watch along. Hello, Richard, and welcome back to Over and Over and Over Again, the Positive Arsenal channel. This is a live watch along of the game tonight, obviously coming up in about 10, 15 minutes time against Liverpool at the Emirates. A big game, of course, back after the international break. Just in case you haven't seen the team news, this is how the teams line up tonight. So for Arsenal, there's quite a few changes. We've had a few injury issues with the international break, haven't we? So it's Leno in goal. The back four, Chambers keeps his place at right back after the West Ham game. Rob Holding's coming for David Luiz, who's injured, of course, at centre-back alongside Gabriel, with Tierney at left-back as usual. In midfield, Thomas Partey, it's Danny Ceballos in next to him, of course, with Granit Xhaka, who apparently is unwell. And then in the front four, Pepe, I'm expecting to maybe start on the right, Aubameyang on the left, Odegaard's going to be in the number 10 position, and Lacazette through the middle. Now, of course, Aubameyang and Pepe could switch wings, couldn't they? Aubameyang did start on the right against West Ham, well, that didn't really work, did it? In terms of the bench then, it's not a great bench, is it? If we're honest, we've got two right backs on the bench, Bellerin and Cedric, alongside goalkeeper Ryan, obviously Mari as well. El Neni, Nelson's back on the bench as well. Of course, he scored the winner in this game last season. Willian's on the bench alongside Martinelli and Nketiah. So not the greatest bench probably for Arsenal, if we're totally honest. Liverpool side then, Alisson's in goal, they're back for Alexander-Arnold, Phillips, Kabak and Robertson. In midfield, Fabinho and Thiago. Milner will probably be just in front of them. And then the front three, of course, the famous front three of Mane, Salah and Firmino. So Oxlade-Chamberlain, you can see, is on the bench for Liverpool as well, of course. Former Arsenal player, of course, if you remember him. There's been a few comments in the chat already. Thanks for watching, everyone. Christopher there, come on, you Gunners. Yeah, let's hope so. And Dave from Newcastle FC TV. Thanks for tuning in, Dave. Good to see you. He said, rest in peace, Claude. Absolutely. Good sentiment there. He said, rest in peace, Claude. My heart goes out to all Claude's friends and family and the Gunners. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Obviously, the really sad news this week. And of course, as well, today is the first game, of course, since the 20-year anniversary of David Rocastle's passing as well. I did a show on it the other night. There's been lots and lots of stuff about it. And of course, it is on the programme today as well. Ben in the chat there, come on, you Gunners. Yep, indeed. Let's hope that we can produce a performance here. This is the programme today, in front of the programme, Rocky on there. And I'll say they've got his shirt as well in the changing room today. So let's hope that can inspire the team. I've got to be honest, I'm a little bit concerned about the lineup, if I'm really honest with you. I think we're going to miss Xhaka in midfield. Ceballos hasn't filled me with a lot of confidence, I've got to be honest. So that's a worry there. I mean, the front four, we're missing Saka and Smith Rowe, been two of our best players, unfortunately, with injuries, and it's a bit of a concern today against, obviously, the good Liverpool side. I'm a bit worried about that. Pepe and Aubameyang are going to be wide. Not sure what Martinelli needs to do to get a start, if I'm honest. One of the injuries that we've got, this would have been a great game to have thrown him in. In the videos that we've seen of training, he's looked sharp. Not sure what's going on there, if I'm totally honest, but there'll be a reason behind it. I'm sure there will. And if we win the game, it will be justified, won't it? But looking at the team, I'm a little bit concerned. I'm a little bit concerned about a lack of quality on the bench as well, certainly in forward areas. It's only really Martinelli. You look at that and you think, you'd trust coming on to get a goal if we need one. You know, Willian's obviously, we know he's had a poor season, although he has got the most assists actually for us in all competitions this season. Nelson's not really been playing at all, has he? So you wouldn't expect him to come on and have the impact he did in his fixture last season. And Nketiah as well, another one who's hardly played. So you don't see many goals there on the bench, do we, if we're totally honest? So let's hope the starting 11, weaker as it is with the injuries, can do the job. Liverpool, of course, we know their problems, but most of their issues have been, of course, away from home, haven't they? Most of their issues have been at home, haven't they? Away from home, they've been pretty solid and strong. They've won 5 of their last 6 away from home. So we've not been great at home either. We've got these injury issues as well. So I'm a little bit concerned, I've got to be honest, about whether or not we can win this game or not. We're going to have to be on our game. We can't afford to give away any silly goals as we have done in recent games. We're going to have to be on our game. Holding worries me a bit. He's very, what's the word? He loses concentration, doesn't he? So I'm a little bit worried about him. Chambers as well. I know he had a good game against West Ham, but again, it doesn't fill me with too much confidence there. And yeah, obviously Aubameyang's having a poor season, and you know, Lacazette has got a decent record against Liverpool, so you know, hopefully he can pop up with another goal. Liverpool's central defence, of course, is a weakness, isn't it? Without their regular defenders, of course, all injured, Van Dijk in particular. So yeah, it's going to be. It should be a good game, this actually, but I'm a little bit underwhelmed with our team. Not a lot that I'd say I can do about the injuries that we've had. Unfortunately, the international break hasn't helped us out really, particularly well, has it? So we're just going to have to make do with what we've got, and let's hope that some of these players who maybe haven't been playing much lately, Holding, Ceballos, Pepe, people in and out of the team can step up and do the job tonight, because we're going to need them, aren't we? Because it isn't, I say, the strongest Arsenal team. And I say it is a little bit of a concern. I've got to be honest. I'm a little bit concerned, but ultimately, I suppose at the end of the day, this is when the players have to step up, don't they? So let's hope that they do, and that we can get the result, because it's an important game for us, isn't it? With Chelsea losing, of course, earlier, we could close the gap on them to 5 points, of course, and they are in the top 4. So. It's a big win. It'll put us within a point of Liverpool as well. Of course, Liverpool will be thinking the same, won't they? It's a good opportunity for them to really put pressure on the top 4 as well. So it's a must-win game for both sides today, isn't it? And it's going to be interesting how it plays out. So Liverpool good away, Arsenal not so good at home. You'd say maybe Liverpool are slight favourites, perhaps, despite their recent poor run of form. Where I say most of that has come at home. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this one plays out. Arsenal are going to have to play well. If we're going to get anything from this game, we're going to have to play well. We're going to have to be concentrated at the back, and we're going to have to. Thomas Partey, we need a big performance from him, don't we? Without Granit Xhaka there, I think he really needs to step in the performance today. Liverpool's 2 midfield players are strong, aren't they? Fabinho and Thiago. So it's going to be tough. It is going to be tough. But sometimes when things are against you, that's when you step up and you know get the results. So let's hope that we can do that tonight. But yeah, it's going to be a really difficult game for us now. I did predict. I've predicted different scores actually this week. I seem to go from one to another. I did predict 2-2 on the warm-up show last night. If you didn't watch that, thanks to the Liverpool fans, Ricky and Luke from the 1892 Reds podcast. Please check them out as well. They've got a good channel going on there. Thanks for them for coming on last night. I did predict 2-2 last night. Having looked at the teams, I'll probably take a draw now if I'm totally honest, actually. But let's hope that we can get the win. Terry's in the chat. How you doing, Terry? Thanks for watching. Great show on Rocky and last night. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the comments and the support. RRP Claude. Yeah, no, exactly. RRP Claude. We all sort of echo that sentiment. I did do a couple of quizzes with him actually over last year with the lockdowns and stuff. He was a genuine guy, and obviously a massive Arsenal fan and loved the club. So it's a big loss, and obviously condolences to all his family and friends. And Joe as well is in the chat. How you doing, Joe? Thanks for watching as well. It's just it's a good game today, isn't it? You know, obviously with the anniversary of Rocky as well this week. I think it needs a good performance. It's a shame our number 7 isn't fit to play, isn't it? It would have been fitting maybe if he could have come in today and done had a good performance and done a good job for us in the team. But unfortunately, he's not fit, and there's nothing you can do about that, unfortunately, is there? So I'll put the score out there. Obviously, it is 0-0. We haven't started yet, so hopefully that's as good as it gets for Liverpool. But we'll see what happens over the next couple of hours or so. Just so you're aware, I won't be doing the fan cam show directly after the game. It's obviously a late finish. It's not going to finish till 10 o'clock. So I'm doing that tomorrow at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. I've got 4 or 5 fans lined up to come on that. Just going to literally do that. We're going to get the fans on to chat about the game. That'll be a good show. That's at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Just a slight change of plan, just because I say there was just a late finish really, and obviously match of the day's on as well, and I want to watch that. So I didn't want to rush through it straight afterwards. So we'll do it tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have a chance to reflect on the performance a bit more as well. And I will also have out my review, match review video as well. I don't know whether they'll come out tomorrow or Monday. Of course, it is Easter weekend, so happy Easter to everyone as well. Those who obviously celebrate Easter. It's just for me, it's just about some chocolate really, which is nice. But I know it means a lot to a lot of people as well. So hope you're all enjoying the Easter weekend so far, and hopefully we can enjoy Easter a bit more. If we can get the 3 points tonight, it'd be nice, won't it? We had a good Christmas, let's remember as well. So let's hope we can have a good Easter as well, and that'll be, it won't totally make up for all the other stuff in between, I guess. But let's just hope that we can get the win tonight, because I say it would suddenly then you look at 5 points on Chelsea in the top 4. Yes, not many games left to make that up, but suddenly it becomes possible, doesn't it? And I say Liverpool will be thinking the same as well, won't they? But I say we'd actually end up just 1 point behind Liverpool if we can win this tonight, and that shows how important it is for us. And I say it's a little bit of a shame, isn't it? The injuries that we've got. 2 of our best players this season, Saka and Smith Rowe, are both injured at the same time, of course, on international duty, which is a real shame, because I'm sure with those 2 in the team, I would have fancied their chances of winning a lot more strongly. So Liverpool's defence is an issue, isn't it, for them? Phillips and Kabak, a new partnership. They've been conceding a lot of goals, but I say away from home, they have been better, haven't they? We've got Alan in the chat, Leeds fan. Of course, good result for you guys today, wasn't it? Beating Sheffield United in your derby. Keeps up your obviously great season that you've had back in the Premier League. He says there'd never be a better time to play them as to get them up for this one. No, exactly. Yeah, it's a good time to play them in a way, but not really because of the injuries that we've got. Unfortunately, it's I would say under normal circumstances it would have been a good time. They've not been in great form, but we're missing a couple of key players. In fact, we've got 4 key players missing. David Luiz at the back, who's had a good season. Xhaka in midfield's had a good season. Of course, Smith Rowe and Saka. So 4 of our probably best performers this season are all missing in this game, which is not ideal actually. But Liverpool got problems of their own, as we know. Although Firmino is back, of course, after his injury. So see how fit he is in this game as well. But yeah, it's tough. It's going to be a tough game. I'm not expecting anything else. And let's just hope, like you said, Arteta can get them up for this one. We've got a habit of starting games poorly, haven't we? The West Ham game in particular was awful. We were awful for half an hour, wasn't we? We found ourselves 3-0 down. And if we play this badly in the first half hour of this game, then we're probably not going to come back, are we? Let's face it. So yeah, we need to start this game like we did against Tottenham in our last home game in the Premier League, which was a good performance, certainly for 75 minutes. If we play like that in this game, then I'll be confident that we can get the result. But we'll see. It's going to be tough. I mean, we're just getting ready for kick-off now. The teams are out on the pitch all ready to go. Looks like it might be Arsenal kicking off actually in this first half. Looks like we're going to be attacking the clock end in the first half, which is the goal to our right. Actually, no, it's Liverpool going to be kicking off. Sorry. The camera angle was behind the goal there, so I can't really see it very well. But it's going to be Liverpool to kick off in the first half. They're attacking the goal to our left in this opening 45 minutes. I said it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. We need to start well, and if we do, then I'm sure that will be crucial for us to get the result. Kevin's in the chat doing. Kevin, good evening to you as well. Happy Easter. And let's hope that it's a good performance from the Arsenal tonight. So yeah, Liverpool in there. I've not really seen them playing before. Actually, it seems like a blue kind of light blue kit with some strange patterns on light blue shorts as well. I don't know if it's a new kit that they've got or it's a special kit for this game. I'm not really sure. But anyway, Liverpool are going to kick off attacking the goal to our left in the first half, the North Bank, for those familiar with the Emirates Stadium. Of course, Liverpool haven't won here, have they, since 2016. First game of the season that year in August. That was a 4-3 victory. If you remember that game, it was a strange game, wasn't it? We missed a penalty, then went 1-0 up, and then 4-1 down, and then we came back with 2 late goals, didn't we? In fact, all our goal scorers on that day were English as well, wasn't they? Walcott, Chambers, of course, who's playing today, and Oxlade-Chamberlain, of course, on the bench for Liverpool. So that was the last time Liverpool won here at the Emirates. They've only won twice here in history, actually, and they haven't got a very good record away against us, even going back to the Highbury days as well. So let's hope that can continue tonight. But we are off and running here at the Emirates. Gabriel then just played the ball into Aubameyang, and then Kieran Tierney plays it up. It looks like Aubameyang is over on that left-hand side, and so Pepe's going to be on the right, as we maybe assumed he would. Lacazette's also very wide over on that far side for Arsenal, and he's just won a free kick. There was a foul by Fabinho. So it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal out on the far side, just about 5 yards inside the Liverpool half. It was taken quickly by Tierney, but not particularly accurately. And Liverpool have dealt with that and managed to clear the ball away. And Arsenal have now got a throw on over on the far side. So hasn't really settled down the game yet. I say these very early stages. The ball's currently back with Alisson. Of course, he's made a few mistakes, hasn't he, in recent games? The famous game against Man City, of course, recently, when he gifted City at least 2 of the goals, didn't he? And they won 4-1 at Anfield. It's maybe a shame this game isn't at Anfield from our point of view, because I think that I'd have been a lot more confident of us getting a result. I say their away form's been quite good, Liverpool. So we are going to have to be switched on our game. But so far, we've been fairly comfortable in terms of possession of the ball in these first couple of minutes, but we've just given it away there. Chambers gave it away, and now Liverpool can pick it up with James Milner. Still going strong, of course, wearing the captain's armband for Liverpool today. He's had a good career, hasn't he, James Milner? Going back over a number of years in the Premier League. Good, solid, consistent performer, isn't he? And even now, he's getting on in age, isn't he? He's still a very consistent player and still puts in good performances for Liverpool. Of course, in the absence of Jordan Henderson, he's maybe having to step in a little bit more than he may have normally have done. Arsenal just won the ball back well there. Thomas Partey found Odegaard, but he was robbed of the ball there by that was actually that robbed him of the ball. But anyway, I think it was Thiago in actual fact. Anyway, Pepe has now got the ball on his near side for Arsenal and plays it back to Chambers. So far, Arsenal have been certainly had all the possession. Liverpool haven't really got anything going in our half of the pitch yet, which is promising. But Dennis Ceballos does well, actually finds Odegaard, who plays the ball out to Pepe on his near side. Arsenal's right, cuts inside, of course, on that left foot. Again, he finds Odegaard, another left-footed player. Thomas Partey now. Odegaard again, he got player of the month for March. So he's been in great form, hasn't he? So that continues today. He got a couple of goals recently as well against Olympiacos and Tottenham, didn't he, in consecutive games. And he was fantastic against West Ham, I thought, in our last game, certainly in the second half, driving us forward. So another performance like that from him today would be really good. You know, Gabriel tries to play the ball out to the far side to Kieran Tierney, but he's overhit it and it's gone out for a throw to Liverpool. It's been a decent start from Arsenal. We needed to start well. We've certainly been comfortable in possession of the ball. Liverpool have barely got a touch yet, but it is only 3.5 minutes played, and there's plenty of time for the game to really develop some sort of pattern, because there hasn't been a lot of pattern so far. But anyway, Liverpool have got a throw in over on the far side, which they've taken, and the ball's currently back with Alisson. Of course, so he made a couple of mistakes with his feet, didn't he, kicking the ball out. But he's gone long this time, looking for Mane. Of course, he's got a good record against Arsenal. He's done well, actually, got past holding Mane. Now this is the first chance for Liverpool. Tried to slip it into Firmino, but it just went behind him, and Gabriel can bring the ball out for Arsenal. But Liverpool have got a throw, have they? Yeah, they've got a throw on his near side. That's the first real opportunity for Liverpool. Mane, it was initially caused the problems, got past holding a little bit too easily, in actual fact, if we're totally honest. He held the ball up well, and then he turned past holding, and he tried to slip in. Firmino had made the run, but the ball hit Firmino's heel, and Gabriel was able to come across and clear it out for a throw to Liverpool. But that's the first threat from Liverpool in this game. In fact, it's an Arsenal throw which Chambers is taking. I don't quite know how that happened, but anyway, I thought it was initially given to Liverpool, but Liverpool have won the ball back anyway. But Arsenal again have got possession now with Ødegaard. He plays it back to Gabriel, who finds Rob Holding. He's done well against Mane previously, hasn't he? But he did get beaten by him far too easily in that last attack from Liverpool. And Liverpool coming forward again. Thiago does really well again in the middle of the pitch. Liverpool have got possession again, currently with Robertson, who just plays it straight out for a throw to Arsenal. Actually, not a great ball there from him. Of course, it is a new look Liverpool defence, isn't it? With Kabak and Phillips playing there for Liverpool, of course, following the injuries that they've had. So that's where we need to try and exploit that uncertainty they're probably going to have there. But so far, although we've had a lot of possession of the ball in this opening 5.5 minutes, we haven't put their defence under any real pressure yet. But we have won a throw-in over on that far side. And Gabriel's currently got the ball about 10 yards outside the penalty area, plays it back to Bernd Leno. We haven't actually beaten Liverpool this season, although we have won 2 penalty shootouts against them. We haven't won in the games. We drew, of course, a Community Shield 1-1 before winning on penalties, and we did draw 0-0 at Anfield in the Carabao Cup as well before winning on penalties. And of course, Liverpool did win the league fixture at Anfield 3-1. That was the third game of the season, sorry, wasn't it? Back in September. It wasn't a great performance from Arsenal that night, if we're totally honest. Although we had a big chance, didn't we? At 2-1 with Lacazette, could have made it 2-2, and it might have been a different story. But it wasn't a great performance, and that was, we've just started. We'd had a good start to the season, and then we were just starting to see the issues maybe there. But anyway, Liverpool coming forward currently. It was Mane again looking for Robertson, but it was well across that time from Callum Chambers, puts a good tackle in, and it's gone out for a throw to Liverpool. It's near side, in a decent area of the pitch actually. It's just about 10 yards in from the corner flag. Throw to Liverpool, but it's good play that from Callum Chambers. Read the situation well. Came across. Actually, it's must have been an offside. It's a free kick to Arsenal. Actually, I think it was an offside. They're just showing a flag of Rocky as well. Of course, 20 years this week, of course, since his unfortunate passing, and that was a very sad day, wasn't it? That North London derby on that particular day. And it is a shame that Saka, obviously number 7, and of course it is, as Kevin said there, 7th minute Rocky time. Yeah, exactly. So it's a shame that number 7, Saka, couldn't play today. But anyway, let's hope the players can put in a good performance for his memory, really. But yeah, it's he was a great player, a great man as well, wasn't he? I was fortunate enough to. I used to go to every game home and away in the days when Rocky played. So I was fortunate enough to see many of his games, many of his great goals as well. I was really lucky to have been able to do that. So he was a great player. Of course, he played in a great team as well, didn't he? He was part of a really good side under George Graham. Of course, that ended Liverpool's domination of the league at that time. And of course, that famous game at Anfield in '89, it was Rocky, of course, that won the free kick from which we scored the first goal. And before we went on, of course, to win the league that night. And Liverpool obviously only won the league once more in the next 30 years after that. So it shows how much that affected them, really. I say Rocky was a big part of that, but let's hope that we can reproduce a similar kind of performance tonight in this game. And obviously it's not as important, of course, but it's important in its own right, isn't it, in the overall scheme of things, as things are at the moment, in our league position as well. And I say this, Chelsea losing has opened up a little bit of an opportunity for both of these teams actually tonight. Whoever wins this game is suddenly back in with a shout. And I still think the top 4 may be beyond us, but certainly the top 6 isn't if we can win tonight. But we are, of course, running out of games. We kind of thought there was not too many more points. And despite being 3-0 down at West Ham, I did feel as though that maybe that was 2 points dropped in the end, because we could have won that game. We couldn't, with the chances that we had. And if we started better, we almost certainly would have won that game. So it was a little bit frustrating. I say maybe 2 points dropped there. So we kind of thought we'd drop too many more. We've got some difficult games coming up, haven't we, in this run into the season, plus, of course, Europe as well on Thursday. Massive game, that, isn't it, in the Europa League against Slavia Prague, of course, quarter-final. We've never lost a quarter-final of the Europa League. The 2 occasions that we've been in it, we've got through to the semi-final. So let's hope we can repeat that again this week. But we're going to have to play well, aren't we? Because, you know, although Slavia Prague was a decent draw for us, they've knocked out Leicester and Rangers, haven't they, in the 2 previous rounds? So, of course, Rangers, Scottish champions, and Leicester, I know they lost today, but they're second, aren't they? Third in the Premier League. So we're going to have to be on our game over these next 2 legs to win that and get through to another semi-final. But it's going to be, it's going to be tough, and we're going to have to play well. But we need to get this game out of the way first, because this is massively important, as I said, in terms of keeping our European hopes in the league alive. It's been a bit of a scrappy start, if we're honest, actually. We still have a lot of possession of the ball, but we've not really got into Liverpool half, and they've now won the ball back and looking to break forward themselves. Mo Salah has been pretty quiet so far, actually. His battle with Kieran Tierney is going to be interesting, isn't it, as this game develops? He's not been in game really much so far, Mo Salah, which is probably a good thing for Arsenal. Of course, he's a top scorer again, Liverpool, isn't he? He's got a lot of goals for them, despite the issues that they've had. He's still a threat, isn't he? And Liverpool also unbeaten in London as well this season. But anyway, they're coming forward now down that far side. So ball into the box, a dangerous ball, but Rob Holding wins his header, gets it clear, but not very far. The shot comes in from James Milner, I think it was, but it's gone across the goal and it's gone wide. That's the first real effort at goal from either side in this game. It was a good cross initially. Rob Holding headed it away, but not very far. Then Ceballos lost out on the edge of the box and it fell to Milner. It was Thiago actually who won the ball from Ceballos, and then Milner's dragged this shot wide, about 5 yards wide it was in the end. No real problem for Leno in goal for Arsenal. But it's a goal kick now, and we're set up as though we're going to play out from the back, but instead Leno goes long, probably a sensible choice. But Lacazette was easily beaten in the air there. But Arsenal have won the second ball with Callum Chambers. Now Thomas Partey coming through the midfield. That's a great ball over the top, looking for Aubameyang, but it was well read in the end by Kabak, I think it was. But Arsenal still coming forward. But Liverpool tied it up and looking to come forward themselves now on a counter-attack. But Arsenal break it up. Do they know Salah's done well, actually? He showed too much strength there for Ceballos. He's now got the ball back and coming forward down that far side. He finds Aubameyang, who's very wide on that far touchline, plays it back inside to Ceballos. He's got options. He plays it simple ball to Thomas Partey, and he plays a simple ball to Odegaard. So Liverpool are quite happy to let us have the ball in front of them. We haven't really penetrated their defence at all at the moment, but Lacazette tried to play the ball through to Aubameyang there, but again, Liverpool defence held firm, and suddenly now they've got a breakaway with Salah down this far side. Gabriel's tight on him. He forces him back, actually. It was good play from Gabriel, but Liverpool managed to keep the ball. It's Thiago coming forward for Liverpool now. That's a decent little ball into Mane. He's got Robertson in space down this left-hand side for Liverpool. Can he get a cross in? He can, but it's wide and high, and not a great cross at all for Robertson, thankfully. Usually his deliveries are pretty good, aren't they, from the wide area, but not that time, thankfully, and it's gone out for a goal kick to Arsenal. So we haven't really managed to get behind their defence at all yet. Nearly 13 minutes played. And again, we're setting up as though we're going to go short with a goal kick. I'm hoping he might kick it long again, Leno, which in fact he is. This time it's more to this near side, looking for Pep, who actually gets up well, wins a header. He's quite good at that, isn't he, Pepe? You wouldn't necessarily think he's a good header of the ball, but he does win a lot of flick-ons actually from set pieces. Anyway, Liverpool coming forward now with Milner. That's a good ball actually to Firmino. Plays it into the box. It wasn't really well dealt with as Salah came in. But Arsenal do manage to clear their lines, but not very well. It's a shot from distance. A goal just wide of the post there from Fabinho. Liverpool suddenly are starting to create a few chances now. It was Milner with a ball in there to Firmino. He tried to find Salah. It went all the way across the box. In fact, it was not great defending by, was it Ceballos over on that far side? And that was Aubameyang actually. Lost out there, and the ball fell to Fabinho, but he dragged his shot wide as well. But that's 2 or 3 efforts at goal now for Liverpool in his last couple of minutes. They've settled into this game now, and we've been a little bit sloppy. Aubameyang there with his new haircut, lost out on the edge of the box in a dangerous area. And it almost cost us an opportunity there, or nearly gave Liverpool an opportunity rather. coming forward again in midfield. But that was good battling from Arsenal, but the referee, Stuart Atwell's given a free kick to Liverpool. Danny Ceballos there maybe being a little bit over-enthusiastic to try and win the ball back. And it's going to be a free kick to Liverpool, I say. It's only about, 4 yards inside Arsenal's half, which Fabinho takes quickly. But Liverpool coming forward again down that far side. It's now played back into the middle. And Thiago again tries to ping a ball out wide to Robertson, but it's cleared well by Arsenal. And now Pepe can maybe get a breakaway for Arsenal down this near side. He's done really well. Plays it into Odegaard. He's looking for the return. He gets it, Pepe. Thomas Partey now in the centre circle. Plays it out to the left-hand side. This is good from Arsenal. Aubameyang out wide there. Plays it into the box. Almost finds Lacazette, but again, the Liverpool defence reacted quite well. Managed to clear it away up to halfway. But again, Arsenal won the ball back well. Gabriel, this is better from Arsenal now. Finally put Liverpool under a little bit more pressure. Tierney now on that far side, right on the far touchline. He's done well actually, but he's forced all the way back to Gabriel on the halfway line. But Arsenal keeping possession. Thomas Partey inside the centre circle, coming forward now for Arsenal. Plays it into Odegaard, who was on the half turn. He's had to give it back to Thomas Partey. He couldn't quite manage to get to turn and run at Liverpool defence. And again, we're forced back to Gabriel. Now Ceballos, who's deep just inside the centre circle, plays it to Rob Holding. Liverpool closing us down quite well, but we've done reasonably well to get out of that. But instead, Liverpool have managed to win a throw on this near side. Good pressing that was from Liverpool actually. They set a few traps, and in the end we fell into it and just played the ball straight out for a throw from, Callum Chambers couldn't keep it in. And Liverpool now looking to try and build an attack of their own down the far side of Alexander-Arnold. Of course, controversial, maybe left out the England squad, wasn't he, for these recent games. Be interesting to see if he gets picked for the Euros, of course, in the summer. We've got a couple of players of our own who may be in with a chance. Obviously, Saka's the main one. He would have been in the squad, wouldn't he, had to pull out this week with an injury. And of course, Emil Smith-Rowe in the under-21 squad, of course, and he can't be far away from a full England call-up either with the way he's been playing this season. Anyway, Liverpool coming forward at the moment with Robertson on this near side. Plays it into James Milner. Liverpool now got on top of this game actually in the last 10 minutes. Kevin said terrible really in the last third, nothing really going on. No, you're right, Kevin, there isn't at the moment. Liverpool looked a lot more dangerous and direct when they've got the ball. They're coming forward again with Milner on this near side, finds Robertson. Arsenal keeping a reasonably good shape actually without the ball. We've forced Liverpool back now to Phillips. That's a decent play there from Liverpool, but Thomas Partey breaks it up for Arsenal. There's good play there on the edge of his own penalty area from Thomas Partey, breaking up the Liverpool attack. And Gabriel now can go long towards Lacazette, but he loses out in the air to Phillips, and Liverpool suddenly have got an attacker they know. Kieran Tierney tidies up. He's back with Leno, but Mane's putting pressure there on Gabriel, who slips a little bit. Maybe got away with that. He managed to find Aubameyang, who's given the ball away again, actually. Liverpool coming forward again. Arsenal can't string 2 or 3 passes together at the moment. Robertson now is more central, plays it out to Phillips, and he's found Alexander-Arnold, plays it into Thiago. Liverpool knocking the ball around a lot more comfortably now in midfield. So they're starting to get on top after what had been a fairly promising start from Arsenal, but we're being pegged back a little bit now. Alexander-Arnold quite advanced, tries to find Salah, but wasn't a great ball. Gabriel can clear it away, but there's no Arsenal player up there. Phillips easily heads it to Thiago. So Liverpool at this moment in time finds Fabinho. Those two look a decent little partnership in the middle of the pitch, don't they, for Liverpool? Salah there tried to find Mane, but it was well read by Holding, and it's out for a throw to Liverpool deep inside the Arsenal part. Actually, it was Chambers that came across to clear that. And it is a throw to Liverpool, basically in line with the penalty area on that far side, which Alexander-Arnold is going to take. He's not in any rush to take it, actually, but he has now. And again, we force Liverpool back towards halfway. It's Kabak now coming forward for Liverpool from the back. We've not really put this new pairing, have we, under any pressure yet at the back for Liverpool, but Anyway, Liverpool coming forward himself now. Salah into the penalty area. Good bit of movement from him there. Finds Alexander-Arnold. Drills a cross in. Is it going to go for a corner? It is a corner. The first corner of the game to Liverpool there. Gabriel couldn't really deal with that. But it's a corner to Liverpool now on his far side, which they've taken quickly. Alexander-Arnold into Mane. He's crossed into a 6-yard box. Holding. Heads it away, and behind it's going to be another corner to Liverpool. They're really putting in some pressure here. So there's another corner on the far side. Liverpool's right. Alexander-Arnold's going to take it again. He's going to go long this time. It was a short corner initially. This one comes into the near post. Lacazette heads it away. Falls to Milner on the edge of the box. Liverpool play it out wide again to Alexander-Arnold. Can he get across it? He can, but it only goes to Thomas Partey. And he clears it away for a throw over on that far side to Liverpool. Again, they are pinning us back. It's 20 minutes, just over 20 minutes played, and Liverpool probably dominated the last 10 of this, certainly. They pinned us back, and we find it difficult to get out, actually. But anyway, Liverpool coming forward again now. Robertson, again, he's quite central, but he finds Mane wide on his near side. He's faced with Ødegaard, with Chambers. They do look quite similar, them two, actually. But anyway, Mane again exchanges passes with Robertson. Actually, with Milner, that was. And now with Mane again, looking to get past Pepe, which he does, cuts inside, plays the ball across to the far post, but is well covered, actually, there by Aubameyang, who's very deep. But Arsenal now looking to maybe build a counter-attack with Ceballos. Wasn't a great ball, actually, and Ødegaard's done well. And then Thomas Partey steps in, but Liverpool again have won the ball back. Didn't make the most of the opportunity. It looked like a counter-attack was on the cards there, and wasn't quite able to. It was a poor ball, actually, from Ceballos, put Ødegaard under pressure, and he did well initially, but he was overpowered in midfield there by Fabinho and Thiago. I say quite a good partnership, those two, for Liverpool, actually. They've certainly been dominating this game now over the last sort of 10 or 12 minutes for Liverpool. We are struggling to really build anything. That's a long ball, actually, for Liverpool out to that far side. Again, to Alexander-Arnold's very far forward. He plays it into the box to Salah. He tried to hold it up, but Arsenal managed to lump it clear. Lacazette's Lacazette's gone down there holding his face. I think he might have won a free kick, has he? From Phillips. Liverpool complaining about it, but let's have a look at the replay there. Lacazette did well, actually. Yeah, I don't think he meant to put his arm in his face, if we're honest. He was just trying to move his body to get the ball. But you can understand why it was a foul, and Lacazette certainly made the most of it. And the referee is currently speaking to James Milner over on that far side. I still can't quite get used to Aubameyang's hair, if I'm totally honest. In fact, Lacazette looks like he's got a bit of blood there by his eye. It looks like a boxer. Actually, you might need a little bit of Vaseline on that before he can continue. There was no intent there from the Liverpool player Phillips. It was just, he was trying to manoeuvre himself to regain his balance to get the ball, and unfortunately, he has caught Lacazette. I'm surprised the referee's not made him go off, actually, because he has got blood. Oh, he is making him go off now. He's got blood from an injury just next to his eye, Lacazette. So he's having to go off the pitch and get that looked at. So we are going to be briefly down to 10 men while Lacazette gets his eye injury looked at. So he does look a little bit like a boxer who's maybe come on the wrong end of a right hook. But he's on the touchline currently getting treatment to try to stop the blood. So we are briefly down to 10 men, actually, for the time being. I'm sure Lacazette will be back with us very shortly. But Liverpool, again, winning the ball in midfield. And Terry there in the chat there. What a goal coming, you guys. He's just practicing. But the players need to practice a bit more. I think we're going to score a goal. What a player Rocky was. Indeed he was, yeah. Liam Brady with speed. Yeah, no, he was. I wasn't lucky enough to see him already play for Arsenal just a little bit before my time. I did see him play against us for West Ham, and he obviously was a great player. But Rocky for me was number one. And Liverpool are pressing us. Yes, they are indeed. They really are pressing pressing us, and it's a bit difficult now. Lacazette is back on now, which is good. So we are back up to 11 again, but Liverpool are still coming forward. Salah there played it into Firmino, but Arsenal do manage to get it clear. But there's no one up there for Arsenal. Every time we clear the ball, it's just going straight to a Liverpool player. They've got loads of time. The referee, I think, actually might have given us a free kick against Mo Salah. Jota's currently warming up for Liverpool. He had a good first season. I know he had an injury, but he did score the winner in their last game against Wolves. Of course, his former club. Really good player, Jota. I rated him highly at Wolves. He would have been a good player for Arsenal to have bought, actually. But anyway, he's got Liverpool and done really well. So, but he's on the bench today. Of course, with Firmino back fit. So I'm sure we'll see Jota a bit later on. Another player on Liverpool I quite like, Shaqiri, who's on the bench as well. Again, he doesn't play very regularly for him, does he? But he's got a little trick about him. He's got a decent left foot as well, hasn't he? Shaqiri. So not sure if we'll see him in this game, but anyway, hopefully they'll need to bring on some attacking players later on when we're winning. But we're going to have to do more if we're going to win this game, because Liverpool now, I say after a decent enough opening 10 minutes from Arsenal in terms of possession, we didn't create anything, but since then it's been all Liverpool, and they've looked very dangerous, moving the ball really well, and they're coming forward again down this near side with Robertson to play across in towards the far side to Salah. Tierney's going to get there first, but Salah's beating him to the ball, and he plays the ball inside. Actually, this is a good play from Liverpool to Alexander-Arnold. Comes to the edge of the box. It's flicked into the box. A header comes in from Mane from about 10 yards, but it was lacking power. And it was a comfortable save there in the end from Leno. But Liverpool are starting to build some pressure here. Decent ball into the box, that from Milner it was. And a little flicked header from Mane at the near post, but it lacked power. But again, Liverpool pressing us really well. Again, we've lost out to Dani Ceballos. I was worried about him playing, and certainly that's been the case so far. Salah there with a little flick towards Alexander-Arnold, but good defending there from Aubameyang. Actually come back well for the team. That was a good bit of play from Aubameyang, but he's just given the ball straight back to Liverpool. This is a dangerous area. Cross comes into the 6-yard box. Gabriel heads it away, only to the edge of the box. I think it was Alexander-Arnold came in with a shot. It got blocked. And suddenly Arsenal have managed to get it away now with Aubameyang into Lacazette, who's done well, actually. Lacazette there and finds Odegaard. But again, Liverpool won the ball back. I think it was Alexander-Arnold there with a tackle on Odegaard, and we can't really get out of our half at the moment. This is a bit of a worry. 27 minutes played. It is still 0-0, but we are struggling to get any kind of possession of the ball now. Liverpool have been dominating this last sort of 15 minutes or so. We need to get a grip of this, otherwise you can see Liverpool scoring. There's a ball over the top there, looking for Salah. Gabriel does really well there. Great defending there from the Brazilian, and it's gone out for a corner, for a goal kick, to Arsenal. Really good defending from Gabriel. Good to have him back in the team after his injury and his illness issues. Aubameyang's hair's got a headband in to keep it. Well, I don't even know why he's got a headband in. I don't even know why he's got his hair like that. But anyway, each to their own, I suppose. Just can't get used to it at all, I'm afraid. Sorry, Aubameyang. I love you and everything else, but your hair is just not for me, I'm afraid. But anyway, I guess it's easy for me to say I haven't got any of my own. But anyway, there you go. It's a goal kick there, which Leno has taken for Arsenal. It's gone long again. And but we're not holding the ball up that end of the pitch at all. It's gone away through to Alisson. Pepe's trying to close him down, but Alisson does manage to clear it. And suddenly there's a chance here for Liverpool. Long ball over the top. Mane tries to play it across the box to Salah. It's gone just behind him, and Gabriel got away with that there. He just managed it. Just went behind Salah the ball there, and Gabriel was able to clear it away. But again, it was a long ball over the top. Just causes problems. That's happened a few times in recent games, isn't it? And Mane maybe could have gone on himself, but instead he tried to play the ball across the box to Salah, who was coming in, and it was just maybe slightly behind him, and Gabriel was able to clear it. But again, a dangerous moment for Arsenal. We have been living a little bit dangerously now. And I say it looks like just a matter of time before Liverpool maybe score, but we just need to keep digging in. trying to get a foothold in this game. You can see we're missing all our creative players. Say 29, 30 minutes gone, we haven't even haven't created one opportunity yet. Haven't had one shot at goal. Liverpool have had 3 or 4, and they're coming forward again with. This is good play from Mane, actually. Twists and turns, but Arsenal took the ball off him. It was Rob Holding again getting the better of Mane, but Pepe loses out, and suddenly it's Firmino on the edge of the box. Is he going to try a shot? He does. Oh, it goes just wide. We're living dangerously here. Kevin says not looking good. We are scared for some reason. Don't deserve anything from this game. Very poor. Matter of time. It does look a matter of time until Liverpool score. I've got to be honest. We are hanging on a little bit. I know where you're coming from. It's a car crash haircut, says Terry. Yeah, it is really, but I guess each to their own. He obviously likes it. But anyway, so this was the earlier break. Mane there tried to slip it across. Gabriel missed it initially, but Salah wasn't able to take advantage, and we did scramble that clear. Gabriel completely missed it. Actually, it just came off the heel of Salah inside the penalty area, and Gabriel was able to clear it away. An industrial clearance, we'll call that one. But that was another worrying moment for Arsenal there with Firmino's shot that went wide. But the pressure is certainly mounting. We've just not got to grips with this game at all. After what was a reasonably bright opening 10 minutes or so in terms of possession, but we've not laid a finger on them since that point, and it's been all Liverpool for the last 20 minutes or so. We need to try and see this out till half time if we can, and then maybe regroup. But they've just put the shots on the screen. Liverpool have had 5 attempts at goal, only 1 on target, which must have been that header from Mane, which didn't really pose too many problems. But the chances are mounting up for Liverpool. We haven't had any shots on target or off target in the opening 31 minutes of a home game, which isn't that unusual this season, if we're honest, is it? There's been several games like that. And so we have got a lot of our creative players, unfortunately, injured. The onus is on Odegaard, really, and he's not really got in this game at all so far. You know, Aubameyang looking to run at Liverpool defence, but Alexander-Arnold cuts it off. And Tierney now finds Thomas Partey, who's probably touched the ball more than anyone for the Arsenal team in that midfield so far. He's done okay, but he's not doing anything higher up the pitch. Pepe there loses out that header to Robertson. The Scottish left backs are caught coming up, not directly against each other, but obviously against each other in the game. Robertson's definitely had the better of it so far, certainly from an attacking sense. He's got forward well a few times. Tierney hasn't even crossed the halfway line yet, or certainly not for the last 25 minutes. Lacazette does well actually to win the ball off Phillips. But again, as soon as Liverpool lose the ball, they're swarming all over us. This was, of course, what they've not maybe been doing enough of this season, which would explain their poor form. But someone said in the chat from the show last night that no doubt we'd see prime Liverpool today, and we certainly have done so far in this game. But anyway, Tierney now can get forward for Arsenal. That's a good ball to Aubameyang actually down the left-hand side. No one's in the box yet, so he has to hold it up, waiting for some support. Comes back inside, chips the ball in. Can Pepe get his head on it? He can, but it's gone straight into the arms of Alisson. A little bit better that from Arsenal. Good play from Tierney. Found Aubameyang out on the left-hand side. He was offside, actually. I don't know if it was flagged as offside. It wasn't, but it would have been given by VAR, no doubt, afterwards. And if we had scored, it wouldn't have counted. And it was a cross in the end from Aubameyang. He had to hold it up because there was no one in the box. Very slow getting forward. But in the end, Pepe did arrive, and Lacazette. And the cross found Pepe at the far post, but the header lacked any sort of direction or power. And it was easy for Alice. I'm not quite sure if that's going to count as an attempt on goal or a shot on target. But anyway, at least it was a slightly better attack. But I say he was offside because it wouldn't have counted anyway. But luckily, I suppose in that sense, it didn't go in, because nothing more frustrating, is it, to get a goal disallowed, especially in this game like this for us, where we've been under a lot of pressure so far. Terry again in the chat there, we need to get a grip of this game. We can't keep the ball. No, we can't. We haven't. I mean, that one little attack we had there was our best moment probably of the game, actually. The only time we've really come forward with any urgency. And again, we were slow getting people into the box. But Leno's currently got the ball just inside the penalty area. Liverpool aren't actually pressing him too much, and he does play a ball out to Thomas Partey, who's dropping very deep to get the ball. Actually, we're definitely missing Granit Xhaka in midfield in this game. I had a feeling that we would. I know he's not. He's quite a divisive figure, isn't he? But there's no doubt in his importance in this team. Alexander-Arnold now plays the edge of the box to Milner. It's a chance for Liverpool, and he's flashed it wide. Should have hit the target there. Liverpool missing a few chances in this first half. Thankfully for us, they've not got their shooting boots on so far, but we gave the ball away in a dangerous area. Again, I think it was Aubameyang, or was it Ceballos? I think it was Ceballos that time. It was a good pullback from Alexander-Arnold, actually, and it found Milner on the edge of the box, and he should have hit the target at least, really. Instead, he's put it wide, and had it been on target, it would have gone in because Leno wasn't getting there. Kevin here said, sums up our game, free kick on the halfway line, play it back to our keeper. Yeah, we don't look as though we want to go forward and attack the wing. It's been very, very poor. Yes, I say we've got these creative players missing today, and that hasn't helped, but it's the whole mindset of the team or anything, isn't it? We seem to, like you said, we're not wanting to push anybody forward. We're not giving Liverpool anything to think about, and their problems, as we know, have been defensively. Surely we need to put them under a bit more pressure, and they can make a mistake. I say a central defensive partnership that's very new for them. Anyway, Gabriel now plays a long ball over the top, looking for Aubameyang, but again, it was an aimless ball, really, and Alexander-Arnold heads it back to Alisson, who dribbles it back into the penalty area and grabs it there with his little tash. Actually, he looks a bit like a 1930s RAF pilot. Leno there comes out of his box and tidies it up there, playing a sweeper role. Tierney now trying to bring the ball forward for us, but again, we lose it too easily. Give away possession again, and Liverpool can come forward. They're just dominating this game in all areas of the pitch. And I suppose we should be grateful that it's still only 0-0. Anyway, Pepe does well defensively there to win a header. Rob Holding drills the ball forward. Again, there's no one up there. So comfortable this for Liverpool. Milner, again in midfield, getting quite a bit of space. Finds Thiago. And then he finds the ball back to Kabak. Milner again. Now Phillips, and then Milner again, and now Thiago. It's all Liverpool, but at the moment they're just playing it around in midfield, not really getting in behind. But that's a ball over the top there for Milner, but Kieran Tierney reads it well, heads it away. But again, Liverpool pick up the second ball, and again they're keeping possession, and again they're knocking it around, and we're not able to get anywhere near them at the moment, and it's not good enough at all from Arsenal. This Robertson now just inside the centre circle. Again, he's able to just play a square ball across the defence, and it's just too easy this for Liverpool. Yes, they're not doing much with it yet, but they're keeping possession, and it's, you know what they can do when they get it forward. Mane there gets past Chambers. Looks like it may have been a foul, but the ref says no. Now, can we get a breakaway? Thomas Partey plays the ball to Aubameyang. It wasn't a great ball. It was behind him, and he wasn't able to do anything with it, and it has gone out for a throw to Liverpool on the far side, which they take quickly. They're coming forward again now. Milner inside the centre circle. He's got support on his near side from Kabak, who plays it back to Thiago. And then Thiago again on the halfway line. Again, he finds Kabak. Not really putting him under any sort of pressure at all. And it's Phillips now. Just plays a little ball into Thiago. Liverpool just knocking it around. Comfortable as you like. Just as though it's a Sunday morning stroll in the park for them. Suddenly Arsenal win the ball back, and Tierney then, but again, we've given it away, and he goes sliding in on James Milner and gives away a free kick. And Terry says, yeah, James Milner running the show. He is. He's had a lot of possession of the ball. It's that midfield area that we've been overrun a little bit, haven't we, in this opening 38 minutes. We just haven't got to grips with it at all. And it's a free kick now to Liverpool, about 15 yards in from the far touchline, midway inside the Arsenal half. Everybody's lined up just outside the D at the edge of the penalty area. It's going to be Alexander-Arnold to take this. We know what his set-piece deliveries are like. They're normally pretty spot on, aren't they? He's going for that short socks look of Jack Grealish. and Emil Smith-Rowe. Maybe he thinks that's going to get him back in the England squad. Anyway, again, here's a decent delivery. Leno does well, actually, to punch it clear. And now can also get a breakaway with Pepe on this near side. Again, he hasn't got a lot of support. It's a poor ball. He was looking for Odegaard. He didn't have a lot of support, to be fair to him, but he's got to just keep holding the ball a bit better than that rather than just play an aimless ball, hoping that Odegaard was going to get there. But we've not been anywhere near good enough in possession of the ball in this first half at all. And yeah, it's very, very poor. We've got 5 minutes till half time, and the hope is that we can hang on to 0-0. Anyway, Chambers now coming forward down this right hand side for Arsenal. Does find Pepe on his near touchline. Then we're forced back to Rob Holding. He plays it back to Danny Ceballos, and it's back to Holding. He switches the play now to Gabriel, who can stride forward. Gets it out to Kieran Tierney on that far side. He's not been able to get forward at all. They've pinned us back pretty well, Liverpool, so far in this game. Gabriel again tries to play a long ball towards Pepe, but it wasn't a great ball at all. Easily cut out by Kabak. But now Odegaard's got a chance to run at Liverpool defence. He finds Pepe on his near side. Can Pepe get a ball into the box? He falls back to Chambers and back to Ceballos, and we've kept the ball well, but we've gone sideways and backwards instead of forwards. And again, we're forced backwards. Thomas Partey there to Gabriel. And it's now back inside our own half with Ceballos and Rob Holding. Now Odegaard, can he open this Liverpool defence up? Again, he's forced backwards. I mean, I think we need to give Liverpool credit as well for the way that they've played, but we've just not been very good so far. But Odegaard now looking to create something for Aubameyang. Was he fouled on the edge of the box? Referee says no. And Liverpool managed to get the ball clear. But that was almost a little bit better there. At least we had a little bit of drive there from midfield. Good ball from Odegaard. But suddenly now Liverpool looking to make a counter-attack with Salah on the far side. He's got Gabriel for company. Cuts inside Gabriel. That's a clever little ball out to the far side. A cross comes in. Too high for Fabinho, I think it was. He was coming in. Firmino, sorry. Instead it's Robertson at the other side. Rob Holding's headed clearance, but it was a 50-pence header. It went actually sort of back towards where it came from, but luckily Chambers was able to clear it. And Arsenal have won a throw-in, but again, a bit shaky we've looked. Kevin Ayres says, Pepe drives me mad, always passing back. Yeah, I mean, I know people used to slag off Theo Walcott, but sometimes on the counter-attack, Walcott would get the ball and he would just steam forward, wouldn't he? You know, he did it a few times against Liverpool with a lot of success, didn't he? And Pepe there had an opportunity to do that. Instead of driving forward, he didn't really know what he was going to do. And in the end, he just played a poor pass and we lost the ball. And unfortunately, that sums him up. And I don't think we can give him the excuse anymore that he's got to adapt to English football. He's been here. This is coming towards the end of his second season. And yes, he's not getting regular starts in the team. But the reason why he's not getting regular starts is because he's not doing enough when he does play. He's got an opportunity today, with some injuries. And again, he hasn't really taken that opportunity, has he? He hasn't been saying to Arteta, I need to be, you need to keep picking me, because he's not done enough so far in this game. But then again, a lot of them haven't in this first half. Mark's in the chat there, Mark, thanks for watching. This setup ain't working. No, it's not. We're not creating anything in the final third, and we're inviting Paul onto us. Yeah, exactly, we are. It isn't working at all. And I do think that's a little bit to do with the players we've got missing, but also the way we've set up the team, and we're just, very, very poor. Kevin there says, sorry to keep talking negative, but this is terrible from Arsenal. Are we getting paid to pass the ball backwards? Yeah, no, don't be frightened to be negative. I know it's the positive channel, but we need to be honest with what we're seeing, and this has been poor. It's not worth trying to sugarcoat it and pretend it isn't, because it has been. It's been very poor. But I say I want to give Liverpool some credit for that, because I think they've played well. They've come with a game plan. They've dominated the midfield. They've maybe seen our weakness there with Xhaka being out, and they've looked to exploit it. And so far, it's worked for them. It's just they haven't managed to take the chances that they've created. And I mean, if we can go into half-time at 0-0, I think we'd all have to be pretty delighted with that. Kieran Tierney is currently down with a bit of an injury that the trainer's on at the moment, giving him some treatment. So we're going to have a bit of a hold-up in play. It will lead to a little bit of stoppage time at the end of this first half. There is, just over a minute of normal time remaining. But I say we're going to have a couple of minutes now of stoppage time. Actually, doesn't look too good this for Kieran Tierney. Actually, is it a knee problem? They're certainly moving his knee in the treatment that he's getting. I guess if he can't carry on, I guess Cedric will probably come on and play left back, won't he? You can see how desperate we are to sign another left back. But he's got up and he's hobbling a little bit. Kieran Tierney still. He's not moving very free. It does look like a knee problem. His left knee. I don't think he's going to be able to continue. I think his day might be done, unfortunately. Is Cedric going to come on? He's warming up currently. I don't think Tierney's going to be able to continue. Actually, I think we're going to have to make the substitution. We are in stoppage time at the end of the first half, and this is not a good sign at all. With a knee injury or potential knee injury for Kieran Tierney, he's coming off, and I think it is going to be Cedric. Is it coming on? Yeah, Cedric's just getting changed now, taking his tracksuit off, getting his top on, and Cedric is going to come on and have to play at left back. So this isn't really good news, is it? It kind of sums up the first half that we've had here. Very poor. And she's added to our problems with Kieran Tierney now hobbling off with what looks like a knee injury. And Cedric is going to come on. Of course, Cedric did replace Tierney, didn't he, in the side for a few games when he was injured before. You know, people saying that Kieran Tierney is a potential captain, and maybe he is, but he's got a very poor injury record. And again, it looks like he's going to be out now. Just will he be fit for Thursday? That's the question, isn't it? It just shows how desperately we need another left back, having to play a right back as cover for him. And Cedric's done well there. Let's be clear about that. But it's never easy, is it, when you're playing on the wrong side, if you like. Anyway, also are coming forward now. It's going to be 2 minutes of stoppage time, and we are in the second minute of that. Ball played into the box, a low cross there. Was it from Pepe? But nobody really attacking it, and Liverpool have managed to deal with it. But at least we've got an attack going at the end of this first half. Terry there in the chat there says, never rains at Arsenal, always pours. Yes, it does. And unfortunately, that could be a bad injury in terms of the importance of Kieran Tierney to this team. He hasn't had a great game today, actually, so far. He hasn't had the opportunity to, but it's going to be a big loss if he can't play Thursday in the Europa League, isn't it? I say, Cedric can come in and do a steady old job, but he's not a natural left back, is he? And I do feel that that's an issue in the team that we need to sort out over the summer for next season. A cross has just been hooked into the box there. Pepe at the far post, it wouldn't quite fall through. It's ran through to Alisson. We almost got a goal at the very end of this first half that we clearly wouldn't have deserved. But anyway, we'll take it if it come along. But it doesn't look like it's going to now. And we're just playing out the final few seconds of this first half. Liverpool coming forward again, as they have done for much of this game. Robertson plays it back to Kabak. Again, Liverpool knocking it around quite comfortably there. Mane done well, actually. Looked like Rob Holding had held him up initially, but he didn't. Little dinked ball there from Robertson, but it was well covered by Callum Chambers. And Kevin there says, we've made Liverpool look good. Yeah, we have made him look good. We have, and it's... I think they've played well, to be fair, as well. And there's a goes a half-time whistle. It is 0-0. I suppose we need to be grateful for that, at least. But Liverpool have had 2 or 3 half chances that they could maybe have got the goal. Milner's had a couple of efforts as well. There was a header from Mane. Arsenal threatened, well, very little, if at all. Very, very poor performance from Arsenal in all areas of the pitch. We haven't even defended particularly well. I know it's 0-0, but we've looked open at times. Liverpool have dominated possession. They've dominated the midfield. The Liverpool fans that were on the show last night actually said that they felt the game was going to be won and lost in midfield, and that certainly has been the case. And it's all been all been Liverpool in this first half. Kevin says, I don't think even I can jazz this Arsenal performance up. Well, not really, no. It has been really poor. A mark there. We're letting a 35-year-old boss at midfield, not good enough. Changes need to be made. I mean, I think what this first half has shown for me, and it was a little bit concerning when I saw the team and the bench, that our squad is not strong enough, is it? You know, when we've got 2 or 3 good players missing, we don't have the quality to come in and do the job. We just don't. And that's been clear in this first half. And it's not just in this game, it's been clear in a lot of games this season. You know, we're all right when we've got all our players fit and play, and we can play some good football and we look a half decent team. But unfortunately, when we have to dig into our squad a little bit more for certain games, as we have today, the quality is not there, is it? I mean, Ceballos, not for me, I'm afraid. He doesn't do enough. He gives the ball away too much. So he's found it difficult today so far. Rob Holding, again, for me, I'm afraid he's not good enough either. He gives everything, and he's a nice guy and everything like that, but I just don't think he's good enough quality for what we need. Chambers is another one. He's done okay, but these are the sort of players, when they're in your squad, have got to come in. Pepe's another one that you're not going to challenge, you're not going to win big trophies, are you, when these are players that you've got to call on when some of the other guys are injured. And unfortunately, this is the situation that we're in, and this is why we are where we are in the league. And this is why, yes, Arteta's not totally blameless, don't get me wrong, but some of these players just aren't good enough, and you can't rely on keeping everybody fit. Now we've got Tierney out possibly as well. And, the players that we've got on the bench, you look at the bench today, it's just not strong enough, is it? It's not strong enough at all. And this is where we are, unfortunately. This is what squad we've got. These are the players that we've got. And unfortunately, we've got to try to make the best of it, I guess. And today, so far, we haven't been able to. Ender's in the chat. How you doing, Ender? Thanks for watching. Xhaka hates very quiet. Yeah, I said before the game we were going to miss Xhaka. I put a tweet out saying it. I said it at the start of the show, and that's been quite clear. And Liverpool, Klopp knew that as well. You can see the way he set his team up. He's put Milner in the midfield there, and it's worked for him. And we haven't got a glove on him, have we? I mean, as I said, Ceballos for me just isn't good enough. And unfortunately, this is where we are at the moment, isn't it? The squad's just not quite strong enough in depth, is it? In certain areas you can look at it and think, maybe it is, but certainly not in the creative areas. In midfield, definitely not. That's the biggest area of concern for me. And if we're going to spend any money this summer, that has to be the first area, and a left back as well, of course, as we've seen with Tierney being injured. Kevin agreeing with Ender, of course. Yeah, I think we all are. Ender says there he has worked his bollocks off for Arsenal and the abuse he gets. No, I agree. I've never had a problem with Granit Xhaka. I've got to be honest. I do think that he is. He does work hard. I think he's an important player for us. He's a leader on the pitch, and unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that will never ever forgive him for that incident with when he was substituted against Crystal Palace, which is 18, 19 months ago now. It just seems, I don't know, to me, you've got to let that go, and accept the performances that he's been producing for the team on a regular basis. Certainly this season, I think he's been brilliant this season, and you can see when he doesn't play, which isn't very often, we do miss him, and we've certainly missed him today. And people saying, we need an upgrade of him. Well, if we're going to get an upgrade of him, it needs to be someone who is an upgrade, who can put in those consistent performances that he does, and keep the midfield ticking over, which unfortunately you can see today. Thomas Partey looks lost a little bit out there because he's got no one. He's got no one alongside him who can help him. And I do think that Xhaka and Partey do complement each other well. And unfortunately, Ceballos and Partey don't. And I'm not even sure Partey and El Neni work. So they had a good game against Man United, didn't they, earlier in the season? But overall, I'm not convinced about that partnership either, if I'm totally honest. But anyway, I mean, at the end of the day, this is where we are with the squad at the moment. And unfortunately, as you can see in the performance today, when we are missing some of our key players, I say 4 important players today are out, and this is the sort of performance that we get. And we're playing Liverpool, the reigning champions, as well. It's not like we're playing a mid-table team. We're not playing one of the poor teams in the league. We are playing the team that were the best team in the league last year. And yes, they've had their problems, but you can see they're still miles ahead of us in the setup of the team, the way that they play, the tactics that they brought into this game, looking at our weaknesses and exploiting it, and and it's worked. Obviously, looking at what their weaknesses are themselves, I say, with their defensive partnership. So yeah, it is what it is. I guess we've just got to try and get through. And I suppose we've got to be grateful in a way. I suppose it's 0-0 still, because Liverpool could and should really be winning this game. Let's be totally honest here. They've been the better team in that first half, and but they should be in front. And luckily, they haven't taken their chances. But unless we improve in the second half, then we're not going to get anything from this game, are we? We're just not at all. We've had one shot at goal, and actually that was that header from Pepe, which actually wouldn't have counted anyway because Aubameyang was offside in the build-up to it. So, it's just what it is, really, I guess. And let's just hope we play better in the second half. That's all I say. And would we make some changes at half time? Maybe that's something we need to look at. I don't know what you guys think. Martinelli's the one who stands out, isn't he, on the bench, that can come on and maybe offer us something different in an attacking sense. But no doubt Willian will come on before he does. Reece Nelson, has he done enough this season when he's played? And he hasn't played for a while. How sort of sharp and fresh is he going to be? I don't know. There's not a lot of people on the bench that you look at can stand out and say they can come on and do a job and make us look more threatening. It's only really Martinelli, and I don't know. I can't see him coming on. As Kevin says there in the chat, like Mark said, 35-year-old running the midfield. Yeah, exactly. And it's a problem. It is a problem. But let's hope that the second half, Arteta gets into them, and we come out in the second half like we did against West Ham. Although we conceded a lot of goals in that first half against West Ham, we'd also finished the half well. We'd scored a goal, had a couple of chances, and there was something to build on. But there hasn't been anything at all in that first half whatsoever to build on at all. We've been fortunate to be 0-0. I mean, Shane's in the chat. How are you doing, Shane? Thanks for tuning in again. He said, "We're glad we're still in." Yeah, we're all glad. Need Martinelli on, Pepe and Ceballos to on the ball. Yeah, fingers crossed we go as well. Is it a matter of fingers crossed at the moment, isn't it? Because we've been second best in that first half, second best all over the pitch. Kevin there says in the chat to take a 0-0 now and go home. Yeah, I mean, if we hang on them for a draw at this point, you would take it, wouldn't you? But we have tended to often, I suppose, play better in the second half of games when we haven't played well in the first half. So let's hope that happens today, and we can play a lot better in the second half. We certainly have to. Mike in the chat, how you doing, Mike? Thanks for watching. He says Guendouzi sort his attitude out and bring it back into the fold. So well, you can see today maybe he'd made a difference in midfield, because he certainly would give us more than Ceballos. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Of course, Torreira is another one. I know he's had those. He's had obviously some personal issues with his mum this week, and obviously we send our condolences to his family as well. And I don't think he wants to come back. Unfortunately, I think he on his day he could do a good job in midfield for us. But yeah, Guendouzi for me, yeah, I would take him back. And maybe his attitude is part of what makes him the player he is. He's got that fieriness about him, hasn't he? Which we're lacking. And maybe he could come in and do a job for us. I don't know. Or can we get better? Can we get a better player than that coming in? I don't know what the finances are going to be. If we're not in Europe, we might have to call back every player we've got on loan. Obviously, Maitland-Niles had a good game for West Brom, didn't he, in midfield? Certainly looked a lot better than Ceballos has done. So, and that was against Chelsea, a good side. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe he might be the answer for us next season if we've got no money to spend, which may well be the case. The club's lost a lot of money, as we know. And I say without European football, and at the moment we look a long way off winning the Europa League, don't we? Because we can't rely on everybody being fit, can we? I mean, without Saka, without Smith Rowe, and now possibly without Tierney as well on Thursday, it's a worry, isn't it? It is a worry with a team that's had some good results against what you have to say are possibly better teams than us in the Europa League. So yeah, it's quite worrying actually, and yeah, the squad's what it is. Unfortunately, we can't add to it now, can we? So we've just got to hope and pray that the injuries come back quick. Tierney's injury isn't that bad, and hopefully we can manage to get the players fit for the right games, perhaps. But we're not out of this game. Oh, let's not. It's still 0-0, so you never know. I say we have tended to play better in the second half of games when we've been poor in the first half. We did against West Ham. We've done it a few times. So let's hope that we can do that. I mean, I would throw Martinelli on at half time. I would take Pepe off because he's been useless, or even Aubameyang, who's contributed very little as well. So either of those two can come off for me. Get a Martinelli on, and then see what happens. But I guarantee Arteta's not going to do that, is he? He won't do that at half time, certainly. In fact, I'll say I would be amazed if Willian doesn't come on ahead of Martinelli. But anyway, that's another issue that maybe we need to look at with Arteta. That's an Arteta issue as opposed to a squad issue, isn't it? Because Martinelli's there, he's on the bench, he's clearly fit enough to be on the bench, so there's no reason why he shouldn't be playing. Terry has put Chambers in midfield with Partey. He's done well playing for Fulham. Yeah, possibly. Not sure about in midfield. Yes, he did do well there for Fulham. He won their player of the season, didn't he? When he was on loan there, playing in that sort of defensive midfield role in front of the back four. But I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure if Chambers is the answer. Actually, I don't know. We haven't got a lot of other options, let's be fair. But of course, now with Tierney having gone off, Cedric's come on. We don't really want to say, for example, if we're going to move Chambers into midfield, it would be bringing on Bellerin to play right back, and that's two substitutions, two defensive substitutions that we would have made in this game when we've not created anything. And for me, we need to at least make a couple of attacking substitutions if it stays like this. So yeah, I don't know about that in this game. Maybe in future games, it might be worth a try, possibly in some of the Premier League games, if we're going to be moving things around with the Europa League and stuff. Possibility, maybe. But I don't know. Arteta seems to like him at right back, doesn't he, in sort of certain games. He's played him a bit recently, hasn't he, in the Premier League, certainly. So we'll see what happens. But I wouldn't move him in this game into midfield just because it would leave us having to bring Bellerin on and Cedric. So maybe not today. It might be something to look at later on, maybe. But I want to see Martinelli come on at half time, is what I want to see. And I'll be surprised if he does, put it that way. But anyway, the teams are coming back out, and Liverpool are just having a warm up for the second half on the side of the pitch. And Arteta's just taking his place on the bench. Hopefully he's got stuck into him at half time because he certainly needed to. And hopefully it'll be a better performance anyway. Let's hope so, because if we play as poorly again as we did in that first half, you can't see Liverpool not scoring. Terry says, leave Bellerin on bench and play with 10 men. Well, yeah, I'm not sure that playing with 10 men against Liverpool is probably a good idea, but it doesn't look as though there has been any substitutions at half time. We are back out. Arsenal just kicked off, I say, attacking the goal to our left in the second half, attacking the North Bank end, which of course has traditionally been the end where we scored more goals at, although I don't think we have this season actually. But anyway, we need to score a goal at that end in this half if we're going to win this game. Anyway, Cedric's going to take a throw in for Arsenal in the attacking third of the pitch. His first involvement in the second half. That's his first involvement since he came on in the very last few seconds of that first half. Let's hope Arsenal can put together a better performance. Partey there finds Odegaard. If we can get Odegaard in this game, we've got a chance. But again, Liverpool forced us back. Gabriel switches the ball to this. Gabriel got the ball now on his near side. Finds Cedric just on the touchline. Cuts it inside to Thomas Partey. a slightly more aggressive start from Arsenal is to the second half. Aubameyang now very wide on his left-hand side, plays it into Cedric, looked to get it back, but it was poor actually, and Liverpool got the ball, but Thomas Partey wins it back well, finds Cedric. He does well actually. Can he get a cross in? Again, he's forced back by two Liverpool players. Aubameyang with a little flick back to Cedric, but again, because he's right foot, he comes back, and the ball's back in the centre circle with Dani Ceballos. Just plays a little 1-2 with Ødegaard and then plays it out to the far side. Arsenal's right-hand side to Chambers, who's looking for Pepe. And I've just frozen my feed, so just give me 2 seconds and we'll be back on again. We're back on again. This is actually just that bit of play going again out to Pepe down that right-hand side. Again, it's frozen. We'll come back to that in a minute. Shane there. Richard, can Nelson help the team? If not, why not loan him out in general? Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if he's good enough, if I'm totally honest. I think he's had a few opportunities, hasn't really covered himself in glory. And yes, maybe he should have gone out on loan to play more regular. Maybe that's what should have happened. And unfortunately, they've not decided to do that, have they? He's on the bench today. Can he come on in this game and make a difference? He did score a winning goal, didn't he, last season in this game? Very different game to this, wasn't it? If you remember it, you know, we were 1-0 down and played quite poorly, although we defended well, and we managed to do a bit of a smash and grab, didn't we, with the 2 goals. Liverpool mistakes, actually, which at the time seemed quite unusual, but this season they've become a lot more common, haven't they? So, yeah. But anyway, it is what it is. So let's see how we go in the second half. I say so far, it was a slightly more aggressive start for the first couple of minutes, but now Liverpool are back in possession again, knocking the ball around quite well, looking to get forward there. Alexander-Arnold very pushing very high up the pitch, isn't he, again? But, you know, we've managed to force Liverpool back a little bit here. Terry says there, yeah, spot, I need Ødegaard on the ball. Yeah, we do. If we can get Ødegaard involved in the game, we've got half a chance. He's our spark, isn't he? If we're going to create something and score a goal, you imagine it is going to come from him. But he's not been involved at all in this game, has he? He's not really been involved. Not his fault. He's not getting the ball, is he? And when he does get the ball, he's got nothing around him to feed off, which is what he needs. But Arsenal been aggressive there in midfield, actually. With Dani Ceballos, but he's giving away a free kick. But at least he showed a little bit more aggression there, Dani Ceballos, but a little bit too much for a referee, Stuart Atwell. And it's a free kick to Liverpool. So they've taken quickly, actually, and they're coming forward down the left-hand side. Robertson drills it into the 6-yard box, and Holding was there. Is it going to go out for a corner, or will we keep it in? Actually, Liverpool keep it in. Excuse me. And Liverpool now, we forced them back towards halfway, but they've still got possession of the ball. Thomas Partey's come running out of midfield to try to put Liverpool under a bit of pressure, maybe trying to set the example for his teammates who, again, we're sitting off them a little bit, you know, now. So we did have an aggressive start to the second half, but that's gone. And Liverpool back in control again. With Salah, he plays it back to Thiago. That midfield 3, actually, Fabinho, Thiago and Milner have said that they've dominated this game for large parts. But it is still 0-0, and, you know, you never know. We are capable of scoring a goal. You know, we've got Lacazette, Aubameyang, goal scorers on the pitch, and Ødegaard, of course, who's a creative player. And Pepe, you know, he can score a goal. I know he's not had a great game, and he's flattered to deceive a lot of times, but it is almost like we're set out for a draw in the first place, actually, in this game. But anyway, there is still a long way to go. It is still 0-0. So I'm going to try and be optimistic and think that we can win. Kevin says there, it's like a training game, us against them. Yeah, it is. It has been for a large part, hasn't it? And so it seems like we're almost going to be happy with a draw. That seems to have been, after the first 10 minutes, that seems to have been the mindset. And I don't know, for me, we're at home. we need the points in our league position. You know, we've got an opportunity to close the gap on Liverpool, and we just don't look as though we want to do that, do we? And I say, you know, I do want to give credit to Liverpool because I do think they're playing well, and I think we have to bear that in mind. And I say being away from home does probably suit them actually, but it's nowhere near good enough from Arsenal. Actually, we have to accept that as well. And it's a mixture of both actually. Us being quite poor and Liverpool playing well, but it is only 0-0. So you know, if it stays like this and we get an opportunity, you never know, dear. And if we were to sneak this 1-0, we did it last year, didn't we? We done a lot of pressure from Liverpool and we managed to win the game. So you never know. But anyway, Alexander-Arnold now for Liverpool. A low cross into Salah. Good block actually there from, I think it was Gabriel. Thomas Partey also coming in to close down the space. But that was a half a chance again for Liverpool. Thiago now coming forward. The ball ricochets off an Arsenal player. It's gone away through Leno. He has managed to, he is allowed to pick it up because it wasn't a back pass. It just ricocheted off an Arsenal man. But that was almost like Salah was in for a second. Gabriel actually did really well to block. It was a good first touch from Salah, and Gabriel blocked the shot. Rob Holding was behind him. I think didn't look as though it would have posed Leno too many problems, but it was good defending from Gabriel there. And then Thomas Partey came in as well to make it difficult for the Egyptian. Liverpool's top scorer again, of course, as he so often is. But yeah, it's the second half is now developing into a very similar pattern to the first, in the sense that it's all Liverpool dominating the play and us not really getting anywhere near them. But anyway, we'll see. There is still a long way to go. Still, yeah, and I'm hoping we can get better. Give us just to be a politician dressing it up. Well, I mean, yeah, it is difficult to dress it up, I guess. But the way I look at it is 0-0, and I suppose that's the only positive we can say at the moment, isn't it? You know, and the longer it stays 0-0, there's always a chance we can snatch a goal. And I don't care if it's a smash and grab. If we get 3 points that we really need, then I will take that. But it certainly doesn't look as we're going to be able to do that, does it? Let's be totally honest. I don't know at what point Arteta's going to make the substitution, if he's going to make it at all. I mean, the substitution I mean is Martinelli, of course, not Willian, which is the inevitable one, unfortunately. Arteta tends to make, doesn't he? But we'll see what happens. It's 54 minutes gone in this game. So we played 9 minutes of the second half, and again, we haven't had a shot. We haven't had an attack. We haven't put him under any sort of pressure whatsoever. Very, very poor. But Liverpool still haven't managed to really create a clear-cut opportunity. I don't really remember Leno making a save, actually, although Liverpool have had most of the ball and they've had a few shots at goal. He's not had to make lots and lots of saves, has he? So, you know, Liverpool will probably be pretty frustrated if they don't win this game. But anyway, Alisson's got the ball at the moment. Lacazette put him under pressure, and Liverpool trying to play it out from the back. They've had a few issues doing that this season. Can we maybe take advantage of this? But they do manage to get it forward. But Callum Chambers stepped in there pretty well. Actually, that was Rob Holding. Sorry, Callum Chambers got the ball now. Rob Holding again. Plays it into Thomas Partey. This is the best spell of possession we've had in the second half, actually, so far. Can we go anywhere with it and create an opportunity? So Bios then finds Cedric, and he's got Aubameyang outside him on this near touchline. Hugging that touchline, Aubameyang. Plays it back to Cedric again. Now over on the far side. It's a ball played into the box. It was Callum Chambers, I think it was, with a cross, or was it Erdegaard? No, it was Callum Chambers. And now Liverpool can break away with Mo Salah. Liverpool coming forward now. Salah's facing Gabriel, who does really well, actually. Good defending that. Good one-on-one defending from Gabriel on Mo Salah, as it needed to be. He brings the ball forward now. Aubameyang. We've got Quick Good 22 in the chat there. Why are we so trash? That's a good question. If only we knew. Players aren't good enough. That's probably the easy answer to that. And Kevin there, where's our captain getting the boys going? Well, exactly where is he? He's there somewhere out on that pitch, worrying about his hairband probably. But yeah, I'm sorry, but I mean, I did a show about it a couple of weeks ago about the captaincy, and Aubameyang's not a captain for me. He just isn't, I'm afraid. And he's not even playing that well, is he, to compensate for his lack of captaincy, his leadership on the pitch. If your captain's not, not going to be a leader, at least you want to do is play well. And he's not played well for a long time, has he? And he's not played well in this game either. Anyway, Liverpool now coming forward again. Good defending from Gabriel. He's probably been our one shining light in this game, actually, Gabriel. He's had a decent game at the back, just as well, actually. He's broken up a lot of Liverpool attacks and got a foot in well and blocked things. And he's talking about a captain and a leader. It was when we did our Rocastle show the other night, our Rocky show, Mark Flats was on, called former Arsenal player who actually played with Rocky as well. He was sort of asking us about whether we felt Gabriel was a potential captain, a potential leader. And certainly on today's performance, I'd say yes, because he's been the one player, isn't he, that stepped up in this game. The only one probably in the whole team, I feel, that has stepped up his performance. And he looks like a leader, doesn't he, in the way that he plays. So maybe not for this season, obviously, but certainly going forward, I can see Gabriel having the potential to become a captain of Arsenal. He certainly seems to have all of the attributes, doesn't he? Just maybe still a bit young, perhaps, and I'm not sure how good his English is at this moment in time. He's learning, so we'll see. I'm just having a few problems with the stream actually in the second half, which is a little bit annoying. But we are making the substitution now, just as I've got a stream back. Danny Ceballos is going off, and El Nenny's coming on. This is brilliant, isn't it? We want to win the game, so we bring on El Nenny, who's never ever scored a Premier League goal for Arsenal. Brilliant. Yes, we've been getting overrun in midfield, but even so, and Liverpool, you see, they make their substitution. Liverpool, and who do? Bring on Jota, an attacking player, to try and win the game. We bring on El Nenny to try not to lose. I'm sorry, that for me, that sums up Arteta's whole mindset. Why isn't he bringing on Martinelli to try and win the game? Quick doing a 22 there says, Leno's my captain, Ceballos is good enough. Totally agree. Ceballos is not good enough. 100% not good enough. Leno's captain, possibly. I'm not sure about a goalkeeper being captain, but anyway, there's not many other options in this team, let's be honest. So he's probably as good as anyone, I suppose. Yeah, but yeah, but I'm baffled by that substitution. I've got to be honest. Yes, Ceballos hasn't had a great game, and we are getting overrun in midfield, and you can maybe see a little bit of sense in it there, but we're at home. We're 0-0. We're not creating chances, so we bring on a player who doesn't create chances or score goals. I don't know. Seems baffling for me, but I'm sure Arteta's got his reasons. He doesn't want to lose the game. That's probably the reason, I guess. But if Martinelli can't get on in this team, then ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. Shane says, Laka given no effort whatsoever. Laka, Pepe and Uber, most expensive players ever. This squad squanders a lot of money. Well, yeah, you look at the money we've spent on those three players. You look at how they've played today, and you can't really argue with that. It doesn't look good enough at all, does it? But I mean, Aubameyang's done well for Arsenal, I guess, up until this season. He did help us win the FA Cup last season, scored a lot of goals. But he's been dreadful this season. Lacazette, I don't think he's ever quite been good enough, has he? And Pepe, well, we know what we get with Pepe. He's not good enough either, is he? Mike in the chat, a pathetic weak mentality displayed here. And El Nenny, question mark, well, exactly, yeah. I mean, exactly, El Nenny. I don't know what's going on there. Quick Una again, Emperor Arteta needs to be dethroned. Well, I don't think it's going to be long if things carry on like this much longer. Uber's just misplayed this game, made more sense up top. Yeah, possibly. Running in behind. He's not got in the game at all, has he? Anyway, Liverpool made a substitution and they took off a defender, Robertson, and brought on Jota forward, while we bring off a midfield player for an even more defensive midfield player. And we're at home. Anyway, we are coming forward now. Cedric tries a shot. At least it was a shot on target. Quite comfortable for Alisson in his nice Biggles moustache, but first time he's really been tested. But it's a little bit better from Arsenal. Aubameyang actually did create that chance, cut back inside to Cedric. moving in from left back onto his right foot. It was a decent enough strike, but it was far too close to the goalkeeper. Quick go there says Willian should have started. He gets form and then drops. Yeah, possibly. I would have preferred Martinelli, if I'm totally honest, starting. I'd prefer Martinelli to come on still in this game, but to be fair to Willian, he certainly picked up his performances lately, hasn't he? That's true. I think he was injured though, wasn't he? So I think he was initially out because he was injured rather than being dropped, and now he's fit. Maybe I'd say I wasn't sure if he was ready to start the game. I'm not really sure what happened there, but he certainly couldn't have done any worse than any of the forward players that's played today, because every single one of them has been terrible. Thomas Partey tried to battle there for the ball, but loses out, and Liverpool looking to get another attack going. Again, it's Gabriel with a header. Gabriel's played well, I've got to be honest. I'm liking his performance today. He's about the only one. I think man of the match could be quite easy on this particular game. Certainly for me anyway. I don't know what you guys think. For me, Gabriel's winning that particular competition at the moment. But Liverpool coming forward again. Milner does well to find Mane, but Holding actually, Chambers, does well against Mane, who's complaining to the referee he was fouled, but he tends to do that anyway. And the referee's now having a word with Thomas Partey for some reason. I'm not quite sure what's going on. But it is a throw to Arsenal anyway, deep inside our own half on that far side, which Callum Chambers is going to take. But it's still 0-0. You know, I know we're being quite negative, and you know you can understand why, because it hasn't been a great performance from Arsenal. But it is still 0-0. Let's remember that, and let's hope that we can fashion one chance and get a goal. Lacazette now trying to get onto that long ball, but it's going to run through to Alisson, who's going to clear long up the field. And Terry says Zuma playing in midfield. Well, he's sort of playing wide, isn't he? I'm not really sure what he's doing. He's not really done much, has he? To be fair, but anyway. Liverpool coming forward again, as they have done for much of this game. Salah finds Alexander-Arnold, digs out a good cross. The header comes in, and it is a goal. Jota, the substitutes, just come on. You have to say that goal's been coming pretty much from the 10th minute of this game. It took over an hour for them to score it. 63 minutes, in fact, it is. Alexander-Arnold, it was with a cross. And Jota, Liverpool make an attacking substitution, and it pays off for him. Alexander-Arnold managed to get himself back on side. That's a great cross, whipped it across with his right foot, and he got up ahead of the two defenders there, Chambers and Holding, neither of which are good enough. And Liverpool have scored, and it is 1-0. And you have to say that we can't have any complaints about that whatsoever. It was almost a robbery that it was still 0-0 actually. Liverpool certainly deserved that. And it just goes to show you make attacking substitutions and you put the ball into them and you can score a goal, and that's what Liverpool have done. And it is 1-0. And it was a good goal actually from Jota, a good header. Rob Holding and Callum Chambers there, just easily out-jumped them. Two defenders who just aren't good enough for me. And it results in a goal to Liverpool. The substitute, Diogo Jota. It might have been his first touch actually since he came on. Mark says, not really a surprise given how much possession we've handed to them. No, not at all. I'm not surprised by that. The only surprise for me is that it took them this long to score, actually. But anyway, Callum Chambers is currently injured, so that might have to be our third substitution, defensive substitution as well. We might as well just end the game now, if that's the case. I mean, to be fair, that's a good cross from Trent, a really good cross. But he's got in between the two defenders who actually end up crashing into each other. Just Keystone cops them, so sorry, they're just not good enough. And this is the reason why the league season is going to be the way it is, on top of last season as well. It's not good enough. Not good enough at all. The players aren't good enough. The manager's not good enough. The way we set the team up's not good enough. The substitutions aren't good enough. and yes, Liverpool played well, and I don't want that to be overshadowed. I think that needs to be mentioned. But this has been a pathetic performance from Arsenal. We basically said to Liverpool, there you go, do what you want, and we'll try and hang on for a 0-0 draw. But now we can't hang on for a 0-0 draw. What we're going to do to change this and try and get back into it? So far, nothing at all, because Liverpool coming forward again. I wouldn't be surprised if they score again. Trent Alexander-Arnold again. This time it's a low cross pull back. Thomas Partey does well actually to read that and clear it. And Lacazette kicks it out. Is there an injury? It's Cedric gone down. And Shane in the chat there, Sterling and Jota both half the size of Holding and winning headers in and around him. Yeah, Holding's not good enough. I've been saying this constantly since he joined the club. You know, and he's had some good games, but overall he's not good enough. He makes too many mistakes. And that just shows it there. I know we have injuries, but what did Arteta learn under Pep? Was Kevin there in the chat? Well, I suppose what he's learned is that our players aren't as good as Man City's players. That's the first thing he should have learned. So why he's trying to make us play a similar style when our players aren't good enough to do it is a question that needs to be asked. I just don't like the defensive tactics that he's brought in. You know, people say we're more solid at the back. When was the last time we kept a clean sheet? You know, how solid are we? You know, everybody scores against us. Everybody. Anyway, Cedric's now had a bit of an injury, and he's had to go off to the side of the pitch. He just received a bit of treatment. Hopefully he can carry on, because we don't really want to lose another left back, do we? When we've got a big European game during the week. Anyway, 67 minutes gone. It is Arsenal 0, Liverpool 1, and the only surprise is that it's only 1-0 to Liverpool. It's been a dominant performance from the champions tonight, and we've been really, really poor. And the two things combined is the reason why we're losing this game, and we might well lose it by a few more as well before the night's out. Liverpool coming forward again. It's going to be Salah, is it? Again, Gabriel, but Salah's beating him actually. Salah into the 6-yard box, and he scored, and it's 2-0. Mo Salah makes it 2-0. They've scored 2 goals in 5 minutes, Liverpool. I say the only surprise for me is that it took this long for them to score the goals. We're getting what we deserve in this game. And it was a good goal from Mo Salah, actually. He had a lot to do when he got the ball on this near side. He had a lot to do. Gabriel was there. He's played quite well. Gabriel slid in, didn't really get there, and then straight through Leno's body into the net. Just sort of sums it up, really. Mark there says that was a result of half-hearted tackling. Yeah, it was, and cheeky little finish that from Mo Salah actually as well. And we are getting what we deserve. There's no doubt about that. They're definitely getting what we deserve, and it's really, really poor. You know, I saw a few things on social media earlier on today when Chelsea lost to West Brom, and Arsenal fans banter. We've got no right to banter anybody. We're not good enough, and it's embarrassing that we're even laughing at Chelsea when they're in the top 4, they're in the Champions League still, and in the FA Cup. And this is what we've had to put up with all season. We've got no right to banter anybody, certainly not Chelsea. Proper club with a winning mentality, not us. Just, you know, get a cheap manager with no experience. You know, got a crap squad of players, and we're bantering Chelsea. All right. I mean, that's pathetic from Gabriel. Actually, I was saying how good he had been, and then he just does that. Just done a replay of the goal. Just terrible, absolutely terrible. This is just not good enough. If this was a one-off game, a one-off performance, then you'd say, yeah, okay, you could accept it, but it isn't. This has been going on regularly this season, and it's why we're going to be in the bottom half of the table again, aren't we? With 8 games left, and if we don't improve on that this season, then I'm sorry, Arteta. As much as I like your Lego hair, you're going to have to go. Mark this says, yeah, we'll drop this over to invite pressure. Yeah, we are. We've been doing that from the first 10 minutes, haven't we? We've been inviting pressure, and eventually it was always going to lead to goals, wasn't it, for Liverpool? It was just a matter of time. And, you know, we're not doing anything, are we, to look as though we're going to try and fight back in this game either. And that's the disappointing thing for me. You know, you're more looking at thinking, well, actually, Liverpool are going to go on and score a lot more goals. People saying, we're tighter at the back. We let in 3 against West Ham. We've let in 2 against Liverpool. We could well let in a few more. Well, that's not tight at the back, is it? We're gifting goals, poor defending, poor play. We're not looking like we're going to be able to score any goals either. And yes, we've got injuries, but it just shows how poor the squad is. And this is tactically naive from Arteta as well. You have to say that it is. Tells you our problem years of neglect. Yeah, well, it is years of neglect, but it's neglect now as well. Why didn't he bring Martinelli on when it was 0-0? Just mental. I mean, that was poor defending. You've got to give Salah credit, I suppose. He's took that well, cheeky little finish. But yeah, Gabriel he got there as well, Gabriel, didn't he? And it was a weak challenge, and then it was all down to Salah after that. And again, he scored against us as he's done quite often over the years. Kevin here says it's years of buying bad players. Yeah, well, it's definitely years of buying bad players. Yeah, unfortunately, the bad players keep getting picked. Well, some of the better players are sitting on the bench still, I mean, we've got less than 20 minutes to go. We're 2-0 down. If he brings on anybody other than Martinelli for this last substitution, as far as I'm concerned, he's done. I'm done with him. Because there's absolutely no excuse, would there, not to bring Martinelli on now. Not that Martinelli is going to be able to do much, but at least give him a run out. We're going to probably need him, aren't we, in these last few games? I mean, there's a terrible pass there. He's giving the ball away. Barry, I guess, isn't interested, is he? He isn't interested at all. Who would play on left back isn't working. No, acres of space for him. I mean, Barry's not interested, is he? He's not interested at all. And Mark says they're lucky 8-3. We're lucky it's not about 5-0 over the course of the game, let's be honest. Jota's actually just got himself a booking. So he's been on 10 minutes, got a goal, and now he's got a booking. Putting himself about there, a tackle on Thomas Partey. A bit late there, to be fair. It probably definitely was a booking. But anyway, there's 18 minutes to go, 17.5 minutes to go. Mind you, we were 3-0 down against West Ham. We got a draw, so who knows? Of course, you remember that game against Liverpool a couple of years ago when we were 2-0 down and scored 3 goals in 5 minutes. Of course, it ended up 3-3 in that game as well, didn't it? But to be honest with you can't see us scoring 1 goal in this game, let alone 2 or 3. In fact, it's going to be 3 now. And now is it always a good save actually from Leno? Was that Mo Salah again? It was, and Leno actually did really well. It looked like it was going to be 3-0. Again, our defence has got cut wide open, a ball over the top. Salah in space, a good touch, and then decent save from Leno, that to be fair. A decent save. Looked like Salah was in again there. That was a really good save from Leno, actually. He's not had a lot to do, has he, really? I know the second goal he will feel disappointed. It went through his legs, but it was a cheeky little finish. And so we need him on now, not with 5 minutes to go. Well, yeah, we do. It's unbelievable that he hasn't made that substitution, actually, but sums I'll tear up for me. Terrible ball there from Cedric, just giving it away again. Salah again is enjoying his second half, actually. He didn't maybe contribute so much in the first half, did he, Mo Salah? But he certainly enjoyed the second half. Got his goal. Jota's made a difference for Liverpool as well, hasn't he? As in fact, he did in the previous game, in Anfield, when he came on and scored as well. If you remember, when we lost 3-1, he came on and got that 3rd goal, didn't he? Saying in the chat there, how long do we support Arteta? Why does he still deserve it? Yeah, we should be doing a lot more by now. When last he makes subs at one, well, does he ever make a sub at once a game? I don't think he has. I mean, the Elneny substitution in this game baffled me, I've got to be honest, anyway. And that was still at 0-0, wasn't it? But yeah, this has been a terrible, terrible, terrible performance. So there's just over 15 minutes to go. Still no sign of the third substitution. I'm just waiting for Willian to come on just to seal this day, really. Or Bellerin, maybe. Bring Bellerin on for the last 10 minutes. Kevin says, yeah, I'll play for the Jersey and know the importance of a captain. No, exactly. We haven't. Aubameyang will never, ever be a captain. He's just not that sort of a player. And if he's not playing well himself, he's useless. He doesn't contribute anything to the team, does he? So, I mean, I would have took the captaincy off him after the North London derby when he got dropped for being late. I'd have took it off him, and that's a good reason to take it off him, apart from anything else. Apart from the fact that he's a crap captain anyway. We're not exactly blessed with leaders, are we? The only two natural leaders we've got, both of them are injured today. Well, not playing, David Luiz and Xhaka, and I don't think either of those two would be accepted as captain by the fans, would they? So we've got a problem there. I think Tierney's too injury prone. You can't have a captain who don't play enough games. Gabriel's still too young, and you can see by the second goal there, he's maybe the responsibility of being captain isn't going to help him. Thomas Partey maybe is a possibility. Maybe, but we haven't got many options. But I would say, if you're looking through the team, the last person you'd pick as captain is Aubameyang, because he's just not. He's not a leader, is he? He gave up chasing that ball there. He wasn't going to get it. I just think his hair's not really helping him, is it? And finally the substitution, Martinelli is coming on, and it is Aubameyang going off actually as well. He's going off behind the goal. Second game in a row he's been taken off for Martinelli. Should have been made 10 minutes earlier, Arteta, but at least he has brought Martinelli on. And Terry says, hooray. Yeah, better late than never, I guess, but it is almost too late, isn't it? 13 minutes to go. Barry has taken off the captain's armband. Not sure who he's giving it to. Oh, it's Lacazette, of course, yeah. Lacazette's now got the armband, so another person who's not a captain is becoming captain. And Aubameyang's going off. And Martinelli's coming on. I really want Martinelli to have a massive impact in this game. Firmino's gone off for Liverpool as well, actually, while that substitution was happening. And it looks like Wijnaldum actually has come on for Liverpool. A player who apparently might be leaving Liverpool, maybe do a good job for us. We mentioned him on the show last night as well. He's certainly better than Ceballos, isn't he? Let's be honest, and El Neni. So maybe Arsenal should try and look into that. If Wijnaldum is going to leave Liverpool at the end of the season, we could certainly do worse than getting him. I really want to see Martinelli have an impact in this game. He's chasing Liverpool down already, put their defence under pressure. Martinelli's inside the penalty area, but he just couldn't quite get there. He's already done more than Aubameyang in 30 seconds than Aubameyang did in 76 minutes. Liverpool actually give the ball away. Actually, Pepe's got the ball. I forgot Pepe was playing. That's how little he's done in this game, especially in the second half. Anonymous would be a way to describe his performance. But this is the problem. See, these players, you can guarantee Pepe will be probably moaning on the fact he's not starting enough games, and he gets an opportunity to start, and this is what he produces, just nothing. And then he'll get left out at the next game or next couple of games when Saka's fit again, and he'll probably think, why am I getting an opportunity? You're not getting an opportunity, mate, because you're not good enough. You don't put enough in when you get the opportunity. You don't show enough quality. So that's the reason why. And you're not the only one. Let's get it right. You're not the only one. There's a few as well. Ceballos being another example. He probably feels he's not been starting enough games lately, and then he starts, and again he's just not good enough. And yeah, you can't necessarily blame Arteta in a lot of ways. The players aren't good enough, but some of these players he wanted, didn't he? He wanted Ceballos. He wanted him. Apparently he's offering El Neni a new contract. He wants El Neni. It's like, what does that tell you? He seems to rate Chambers and Holding, or certainly Chambers he does. I just don't understand it. you know, Arteta's worked with some great players at Man City, didn't he? You know, some of the greatest players in the Premier League over the last 5 years or 6 years. So you'd think you'd understand what a good player is and what a top level player is, what they need to have to become a top player. And he can't be seeing that in any of these players that he keeps picking. He just can't, because they just don't have it. And we have got other options. And I don't know. I just feel as Arteta's the wrong man at the wrong time for this job, you know, and I'm sure he might well go on and become a great coach in his career eventually. I'm sure he might do that, but he's the wrong man at the wrong time. He's not what we needed. We needed someone stronger. We needed someone with more experience to be able to sort this mess out, and he's just not the man. And it pains me to say it, because I like Arteta. I liked him as a player. I know he wasn't maybe the most popular player at the club when he was there. I liked him. I thought he was a good player for us, and a nice guy. Another mistake and a shot there from Ronaldo, actually, which Leno saves. But another mistake at the back. I don't know, was that Thomas Partey, actually? He now looks injured as well, but he's slowly getting back to his feet. And yeah, I just don't think he's the player that we needed. And again, we're just giving the ball straight away. Was that Gabriel? Maybe that mistake's affected him. The ball's in the penalty area. It's 3-0. Is it Jota again? Jota again. 3-0. A substitution by a manager who knows what he's doing. He gets 2 goals within, 10 minutes of coming on, wins Liverpool the game. We bring on El Neni. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Men against boys, you could say, and that's probably what it is. Certainly in management terms, you know, Klopp against Arteta is men against boys, isn't it? And people say, "Oh yeah, we beat them in the Community Shield." No, we didn't. We drew 1-1 in the Community Shield, and they wasn't ready to start the season, were they, at that point? And even then, we couldn't beat them in the game. And you can't say anything other than Liverpool deserved this. You know, we were fortunate to be 0-0 at half time. We were fortunate to be 0-0 after an hour. Klopp brought on his substitute, Jota, and he's come on and he's won them the game with 2 good finishes. Yeah, terrible defending, you've got to say, from Arsenal. There's now actually an injury on this near side. I'm not sure it is actually. An Arsenal player's down. Look like a clash of heads. Doesn't look good, does it? Of course, you are allowed to make a concussion substitute if necessary. I don't know who it is that's injured. They're not really showing it at the minute. They've just got it on Arteta's face. I'm sorry, mate. You can blame the players if you like. It's actually Martinelli. He's only just come on. That'd be good, wouldn't it? If he gets injured and has to come off. But he looks like he might be all right. He did get a bit of a head injury, but I don't think he's going to have to come off. I think he's going to go back on again when he's allowed. Arteta's got a face like thunder. I'm sorry, mate, but you're responsible as well. You know, you are. And Liverpool making their final substitute. It's Williams who's coming on. Reece Williams is going to be coming on for the final 7 minutes, replacing Phillips, I think it is. But Liverpool have done their job. They've done the job that they came for. And actually, it's Kabak that's gone off, and Reece Williams has come on for Liverpool. Martinelli now getting a bit of a run down his near side, left-hand side. Finds Cedric. Martinelli gets it back. Finds Cedric again. Thomas Partey will probably score a goal now. No, it doesn't matter. Shane says it's the worst that we've been since Villa. I knew tonight would be difficult with Spine. I mean, I think this is worse than Villa, actually. I've got to be honest. I think it's worse. Mike says, yeah, I'll bang their heads together and take them both off. 11 p.m, 3-0 down. Cheers, guys. I appreciate the channel. Catch you anyway. Yeah. Well, I'll be doing a watch along on Thursday. There'll be a load of other stuff coming up. I've got the fan cam show tomorrow, actually, if you're around. 2 o'clock our time. It'll be 3 o'clock where you are. Yeah, just to get a few fans on to cheer us all up with their thoughts on this great performance, which I'm sure we enjoy. Well, no, it'll be a good show. The guys are coming on. It's going to be good. But yeah, it's not going to be many positives we can find from this, is it? Actually, at all. Very, 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 very poor. And unfortunately, I'll say not surprising either. That's the thing, really. Kevin says, yeah, I think Arteta is gone, but who's out there? Plenty of people are out there. Can we afford them? That's the problem. Look what Chelsea did. They went and got a manager, a proper manager, know what he's doing. They got rid of their rookie manager because he wasn't quite good enough, and got someone in. Yeah, okay, Chelsea lost today, but that's their first defeat, and he's been there for ages, hasn't he? They were going to lose a game eventually, and they did have a man sent off as well. So I haven't seen the game, much of it, but there was maybe some circumstances there. But that's what you do. If you're winning, you want to win things. You want to be a big club and be taken seriously. That's what you do. You get the right people in the club at the right time. Who's out there? Plenty of people are out there. It's just will the club invest enough in what needs to be invested in to get the right person? And I just don't think they will. We've got the cheap option in the first place, and I think they're going to stick by the cheap option. And this is what we're going to see as a result of it. We've got cheap players. Well, some of them cost a lot of money, but they're cheap players in terms of quality. And we've got a cheap, inexperienced manager. And this is the result, isn't it? And this is why we're going to be 10th in the league, whatever we are. We still might be 9th actually, but Villa have got 2 games in there, haven't they? Just below us. Yeah, obviously their goal difference has taken a bit of a knock as well tonight, unsurprisingly. Yeah, so yeah, we are still not going to be 9th. Villa have got 2 games in there, they're just a point below us. Leeds are level on points with us, same games. So yeah, we could end up finishing 11th or so, couldn't we? Which would be nice. But it's still, Arteta's still got a lot of support, hasn't he, with the fans? He has. I don't know why. Honestly, I don't. It's where you can blame everybody else, you can blame the players, and yes, the players aren't good enough, some of them, but he's picking them, he's coaching them, he's picking the tactics and the formation that's not working. He's playing a Aubameyang left and Lacazette through the middle, which has never worked before. What do they say? The sign of madness is repeating the same things over and over again, expecting different results. And that's what he's doing. And he's not getting different results, is he? When's he going to learn? We've just won our first corner of the game, by the way, in the 88th minute of the game. We won our first corner. I don't think we had a shot on target. And the corner actually wasn't a bad corner, but Liverpool cleared it. And Thomas Partey is going to try a shot from about 40 yards, which just hit Liverpool players that was in the way. And yeah, that's that really. I don't know how much injury time they're going to be. There'll probably be a bit, but I mean, does it matter? So we just end the game now? Not a lot of point carrying on, is there? But again, it's a good away performance for Liverpool, isn't it? We've got to give them credit. Terry says, men against boys. Yeah, it's men against boys on the pitch and in the dugouts as well. So I think that we know that. I know Kevin says, I know it's rumours only, rumours, but here in red and white, coming with an offer for the club. Well, let's hope somebody does something. Something needs to change, doesn't it? Whether it's the owners or whatever it is, something's got to change because we're a club going nowhere. We're treading water. And if anybody thinks that the Europa League is going to get us out of the mire, then you're mistaken. This squad is not good enough to win the Europa League with the team that's in it. We've been given a favourable draw, and I'm not saying that we can't maybe get to the final, possibly with a bit of luck. But looking at the teams in the other half of the draw, we can't beat any of them. So we're not going to win the Europa League. We're almost certainly not going to finish top 6. We've got no European football coming next season. We're going to have no investment subsequently in the team because of that reason. There's no way that the Cronkies are going to put their hand in their pocket without European football. And yeah, this is the situation that we're in, unfortunately, and it's the owners are to blame for that. But Arteta's in the job and he's got to do better. The players on the pitch have got to do better. saying there, no Zachary aside, Jacatieri and David Luiz. Honestly, how many of these players on the pitch will be in next season? Well, unfortunately, probably quite a lot of them, because no one's going to want to buy them, are they? We wouldn't be able to give half this team away, would we? Come on, who's going to take Holding off our hands? Who's going to take Chambers off our hands? Who's going to take Ceballos off our hands? Real Madrid don't want him, for dead certain. They'll be begging us to buy him at the end of the season. Sorry. You think Odegaard's going to stay? Real Madrid will have him straight back, won't they? I mean, he hasn't touched the ball this second half, Odegaard. Hasn't touched the ball. And that's not his fault. I love Odegaard. He's a great player, but he's not been given the ball because we've just been poor. And, you know, it's just, you know, I can't see us keeping him either. We certainly got a bit of thought to buy him, are we? If we're not in Europe next season. You know, at the end of the day, the results on the pitch are down to the manager, and he's got to take responsibility, and we've got to stop making excuses for him. You know, it's not good enough. Our position in the league is not good enough. The goals we're conceding is not good enough. The way we're playing is not good enough. You know, it's 4 minutes stoppage time, by the way. I think Gabriel just got himself a yellow card. Frustration clearly showing. He had a good game actually until that second goal, and he's gone to pieces since then. Similar thing happened in that game against Southampton. Do you remember when he got sent off? His frustration got the better of him in as well. It's something he needs to look at a little bit. It's funny, isn't it? When it's 0-0, or when it was 0-0, Arteta was at the side of the pitch screaming at the players, telling them what to do as he normally does. But he hasn't done that for the last 10 minutes. It's almost like he's given up on them as well. But he needs to look at himself. He does. And, you know, it's a free kick to Liverpool now on this near side. Trent's going to take it. So no doubt it'll be a good delivery. And it is a good delivery. And a diving header comes in. I don't know who that was there, a diving header with Mane, actually. If he'd got a bit more on that, it would have been another goal, another good delivery from Trent again. You have to say his set-piece deliveries are unbelievable, aren't they? That's another great ball. And should have been 4-0. And Mane couldn't quite get enough on it. So, yeah, what a shambles. We need to spend big, but it won't happen. It certainly won't happen if we're not in Europe. That's for dead certain. I want Arteta to do well, but he don't help himself. Well, I think we all want him to do well. I mean, I want us to win every game. I want us to be better. I've lost faith in the fact that he's the right man to do it, unfortunately. And I do like him. It's a shame, but I just think we need to be realistic about it. Mark there says this isn't even Paul's best 11. They've done a right number. And yeah, they have. They're well coached. That's why. They know, they know what their strengths and their weaknesses are. They know what their opponent's strengths and weaknesses are. And that's what they've done. They've worked on it and they put a game plan together and they carried it off. Yes, they've got better players than us. Let's not try and pretend they're the champions. They won the Champions League the year before. But we've not been anywhere near good enough, and it has been men against boys. We've said that before. They've been toying with us, Liverpool, and they're toying with us now. Looking for a fourth goal, which they deserve. Let's be fair, they do. So he's going to be wanting to score another one, isn't he? I mean, Jota's on a hat trick, don't forget. But we've managed to deal with that and sort of tidied it up. El Nini now, he doesn't really want the ball. But none of them seem to want the ball. Oh, Pepe's still on the pitch. He's just touched the ball. Well, that's the first time in about 20 minutes. Cedric now on his near side. Plays it into Thomas Partey. Clips the ball forward, looking for Martinelli. Puts himself about, actually does quite well. Cedric picks up the ball. Martinelli now, go on, son, have a run. You're the only one who deserves anything in this game. You deserve to play longer as well. Cross into the box from Cedric, but it's going to be easy for Alisson. And we're into the final 20 seconds of stoppage time, which can't really come quick enough. It's been a totally comprehensive win. Get a long ball over the top of Liverpool, and again, are they going to get a fourth? Salah against Gabriel. Salah again. He's got the ball to Mane. Leno actually makes a good save. Almost ended with a fourth goal for Liverpool, and the final whistle has now gone. And quite honestly, that was a disgusting performance from Arsenal from start to finish. Just nowhere near good enough. Liverpool were good. I want to be clear about that. Liverpool played well, fully deserved that. They probably deserved to win by more. But that was just pathetic from Arsenal from 1 to 11. Just not good enough. Just not good enough at all. And unfortunately, it's not the first time we've had to say that, is it, this season? It's not the first time at home either. It's been a regular occurrence. Well played Liverpool. That's all you can say, really. Brilliant performance from them. Fully deserved it, but we made it easy for them as well. We need to say that as well. They did their job they came to do. They took their time getting the goals. It gave us maybe a little bit of false hope for a while, but you can't question the fact that they deserved that. The substitute for them, Diogo Jota came on, got the goal. Klopp's having a chat with Ødegaard there, probably saying, why don't you come to Liverpool instead? Liverpool are now just 2 points behind Chelsea in fourth. That's a big win for them. And we are miles away. We're 7 points off of the top six, which is West Ham, and they've got a game in hand. Everton have got 2 games in hand. They're 4 points above us. So we can say goodbye to the top six. We can say goodbye to Europe through the Premier League. And our only hope of getting into Europe next season now is going to be by winning the Europa League, which actually would put us in the Champions League with this squad of players. It's almost laughable to think that this group of players could be in the Champions League next season. I said it before, I just don't think we're good enough to win the Europa League anyway, so we can perhaps forget that. But we're still in it, so you never know. Miracles might happen, but it's looking very much like we're not going to be in Europe next season, which is going to put the budget is going to be virtually nothing. We're going to have to sell a lot of players to get money in. Who's going to buy them? You look through this team today, who's going to buy him? Who'd even buy Aubameyang on the way he's been playing this season? Who would buy him on the money that he's on, the contract that he's got with us? No one's going to buy him. Lacazette possibly. We might get a few quid for him. Pepe, I'll give Pepe away. I'll, just get rid of him. He's just not good enough. Ceballos is going to go back. He's not good enough. Obviously, Partey we've got to keep anyway. Tierney we've got to keep. Gabriel I would keep. Holding and Chambers, no one will buy them. We can't give them away. Pair of them. I'd give them away as buy 2, get 1 free. Do you know what I mean? But no one's going to buy them because they're just not good enough, are they? Kevin says, don't know what to say. Well, what can we say? It's just dreadful. Shane, do you think these players, Uber, captain field the way we do tonight? Embarrassing. We look lost. Yeah, I mean, it's not been the first time this season that you've looked at the team and thought they don't believe in Arteta's ideas, because they didn't from the start of this game today. They didn't believe in what they were doing, did they? And it's not the first time that's happened. We've done that a few games this season, quite a few. The Man City game a few weeks ago, similar thing. That Olympiacos game at home, the second leg. They don't seem to believe in what they're doing. They've got no, I don't know. They don't seem to for me, and that's a big problem. And yeah, the players we said are not good enough, are they? They are not good enough, and we can't try to cover that up. The bench today wasn't very strong anyway. We knew that before we started. Yes, we have missed our 4 best players this season. Today we were missing them, all 4 of them. David Luiz at the back, Granit Xhaka in midfield, and then Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe in the forward areas, and they're important players. And I think most teams would struggle when your 4 best players aren't playing. You've seen what's happened to Liverpool in some games this season, but that doesn't excuse the players who did play and the performance that they put in. It doesn't excuse that. It doesn't excuse the tactics. It doesn't excuse the mindset that we came into the game with. It doesn't excuse any of that. Terry there, another great show. Thanks a lot, Terry. Thanks for watching again. Shame Arsenal didn't help you out. Stay safe about pitting the alcohol. JD and I, we'll enjoy it. Enjoy the rest of your Easter as well, Terry. I'm doing a fan show tomorrow, which could be quite interesting if you're a bit of a masochist and enjoy some bad things. It'll be good to get the guys on, just to get other people's views as well. I'm sure nobody will be very happy with this at all, but there'll be some interesting points we can look at. Obviously, Arteta, certain players, the tactics, and lots of things we can talk about tomorrow. So that's going to be at 2:00. So please stay tuned to the channel for that. Thanks to everyone for watching along with me. Kevin, Terry for your comments, Mark as well, Mike as well earlier. We had, of course, Alan, the Leeds fan, in as well. I think you're going to finish above us. Got to be honest, I do. I think you will. That's 2:00 tomorrow, Terry. That's going out at 2:00, the fan show. I'll put some stuff on Twitter, but yeah, it's 2:00 start, and that's going to be interesting. It should be a good show, that actually. Kevin there. Yeah, good evening, Kev. Have a peaceful night, and if you're around tomorrow at 2, please join us for that show. And I'm sure you'll be back in the chat again for the next show anyway. So have a good evening. Enjoy the rest of your Easter. Martin says it's time for a beer or 2 or 3 or 4. Yeah, enjoy them as well. It certainly makes you feel like that, doesn't it? After that sort of performance, just not good enough at all. Yeah, so tomorrow 2 o'clock's the time for the fan show. Got 3 or 4 of the guys lined up to come on. Might be a few more want to come on now and have a bit of a rant about that. That's fine. And hopefully by tomorrow though we can I'll sit down tonight. I'll watch it on Match of the Day. I'll watch a few more bits and pieces on it. Try to find some positive somewhere. I will do a match review as well. I don't know whether to put it out tomorrow or Monday. I'll see about that. Shane there said to have a good night. Yeah, you have a good night as well, Shane. Sorry Arsenal wasn't able to make it a bit better. It's not been a happy Easter for Arsenal, has it, this year, unfortunately? But anyway, it is what it is. So yeah, so I will be doing a review video as well at some point in the next day or so. I might put it out Monday because the fan show is tomorrow. And then we have to look ahead, don't we, to Thursday, the Europa League. Basically, it's all or nothing in the Europa League now, isn't it, for us? I'd say I'll be shocked if we were to win it with this group of players. But you never know. We've scraped through the last 2 rounds against fairly average opposition. It's going to be a tough 2 legs coming up. We need to be a lot better. Let's hope we are. Be good to get to the final, wouldn't it? And then you never know. But it's hard to feel optimistic at the moment, having watched that. Very, very poor from start to finish. We got what we deserved in that game. I say credit to Liverpool. They played really well. Came with a plan, carried it out. Good substitutions at good times from Klopp. So fair play to him and fair play to Liverpool. And yeah, they fully deserved that. And they probably deserve to win by more, if we're totally honest. But yeah, just not good enough at all from Arsenal. I worry about where the club's going. It's certainly not going in the right direction at all. We're going to probably finish mid-table. And the Europa League is our only hope. And I don't hold out much hope for that, if I'm totally honest. But anyway, very disappointing. It has finished at the Emirates tonight. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 3, as you can see on the screen there. And it doesn't flatter Liverpool at all. Not one little bit does that flatter Liverpool. It was dreadful from Arsenal and fully deserved from Liverpool. Someone said on the show last night, didn't they, that prime Liverpool had turned up. They got a few injuries themselves, haven't they? But they certainly put in a good performance tonight and deserved that win. Yeah, and we were terrible. So yeah, let's we need to put this behind us now and look forward to Thursday. Look ahead to Thursday. Difficult game. Let's not pretend otherwise. They've done well this season. They're difficult to score against. Hopefully, some of our injuries will be back. Smith Rowe, Saka, hopefully can play Thursday. Hopefully, Tierney's not that bad and he can play Thursday as well. David Luiz hopefully can be back. Xhaka should be back. So, maybe with a stronger team out, we can put in a performance and get the result we need in that first leg. But we've got to be better, haven't we? And all those Arsenal fans laughing at Chelsea earlier. Who's laughing now? Certainly not me. That was terrible tonight. Really, really bad. And yeah, I think the joke's on us, isn't it, after that? So anyway, stay tuned to the channel. If you haven't done so, please subscribe. I did hit 400 subscribers today, so really grateful to every one of you that's subscribed. If you're a new subscriber today, sorry that the performance from Arsenal tonight wasn't that great. A terrible defeat, but hopefully you've enjoyed the show. I say stay tuned to the channel because I've got a lot of great stuff coming up. I say the fans cam show tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I'll have my match review video probably Monday, and then we'll be looking ahead to the Slavia Prague game. I'll do a preview of that game maybe Tuesday. I'll try and get a live show on as well at some point before the Slavia Prague game, and then I'll watch along at that game as well on Thursday, and then building up, of course, next weekend's game. Another difficult game against Sheffield United, who are bottom of the league, but have not been actually playing that badly, have they? So another tough game for them. They've got Pride to play for, so that's not going to be easy either away from home. So yeah, that's all coming up over the next week or so. So loads of stuff to stay tuned for. So please subscribe if you haven't done. Please give it a like. So thanks to everyone in the chat. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Appreciate everyone for watching. You know, the channel's nothing without you guys watching as well, isn't it? So shame Arsenal couldn't do Rocky's memory a little bit more credit tonight. I'm sure that was not what we needed, was it? But anyway, it is what it is. It has finished. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 3. In fact, I'm going to take that score off there because it's annoying me looking at it. Yeah, stay tuned for, I'll say, the fan cam tomorrow at 2. I'll see you then. And yeah, let's hope that we can put this behind us, but it's not come at a good time for us, is it? The injuries and everything else. So disappointing night, really disappointing performance. Well, not good enough at all, actually. Disgusting performance, if we're totally honest. But, you know, well done, Liverpool, fully deserved. And yeah, we've got to try and brush ourselves off for Thursday. A massive game for us now, isn't it? All or nothing, I say, on that. Next 2 Thursdays is going to decide our season. And let's hope that we're still in the cup this time in 2 weeks' time. But I'm not overly confident, I've got to be honest. But better days maybe are coming, I don't know. But nothing can be worse than that, can it? So, yeah. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 2. Enjoy the rest of your evening if you can. Enjoy your alcohol and your beers, whatever you're having, to get over that. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow at 2. And in the meantime, I'll say thanks for watching. Thanks for your support of the channel. And come on, you Gunners. Come on. That was just not good enough. See you tomorrow, guys. Thanks for watching. Thank you.